Streaming! Starting the stream! We're apparently live. Still offline though, according to this. Right, receiving my content. It is starting the stream. We are now live. We're now live. Sound awesome! Everything is working.
Hello, live people.
I know, right? Do you just want to chat to the people who aren't even here yet? While I just bob off through it. We're gonna have a guest today. His name is Ben. He's joining us sometime soon. Wakey is apparently going to be joining us later. He's got a D&D session right now. But other than that, I'll be back in a few minutes. I just wanted to make sure everything went live at the right time. So be right back.
So now it's going to be a few minutes of silence.
What was that, Adam?
So it's going to be a few minutes of silence until he gets back.
I didn't get a word of that on the sec. What was that?
I said it's probably going to be a few minutes of silence until he gets back.
Probably. Right, there we go.
Right, I'm back. I'm guessing that one person viewing is me. Or it's you,
Probably.
or it's you, Ryan.
No, it's not me for one.
Alright, nice. So we're all waiting for shit to get going. Do you want to should we talk about what we did this week?
Go on then.
Yeah, because Ryan, we found out, loves karaoke.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that true? In fact, so much so that I'm going to upload a short section of it. In fact, I can't actually, thinking about it. Because I got those two women's faces in it, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
Ryan, you are lucky. I can only share it with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, until we leave the European
can't
Union,
do
I can't
that.
show that. I can't share that video because it was taken at a private establishment. For fuck's sake!
No, it's taken a public establishment.
Technically, it's a private establishment. Oh wait, no, shit, no, that's public house, isn't it? It's only Towers that's private.
It's a public.
Or is it,
bar,
or is it the other? No, Towers isn't public. Towers, you've got to be a member of the SU to join, to go into it. Because it's a sports bar for the SU. I'm pretty sure Swan is pub though, it's public house. I'm not sure. You'd have to check with the sabbatical officers. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. Yeah, no, Ryan decided to sing Maiden on karaoke. Which was then followed by, was it something from Glee or something?
God knows.
It was something dead poppy anyway that followed him. So we've got Ryan, who is, if anyone's seen him in real life, the other viewer of this podcast, I'm guessing is Ryan. So I'm pretty sure Ryan's seen himself in real life.
Not actually me.
Wait, what? Is it Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got long hair, so he decided to do the mosh out that you do with all. I'm gonna say hard rock because I don't actually know if it is hard rock, to be quite honest. What would you define Maiden as, Ryan?
It's classic metal.
Is that what it's defined as? Because to me, that doesn't really feel very, like... What's the word, like... Heavy.
Well, you know, it's classic.
Like,
heavy
I
metal.
could cope with that being on in the background. I don't know, maybe it's just me, you know?
Mm,
Goodness.
no, that's generally what Maiden's classed as.
Yeah, okay. Not like alternative metal or anything.
No?
You learn something new every day. Bear with me, I've got messages. 1 minute. Ben is going to be joining us now. And admin sec. I think he's got permissions to join this. If not, I might have to temporarily change his permissions. In which case we may have to like
Oh, I need to
cut.
join something else and then you drag him over.
Oh yeah, shit. He does actually have access to meeting room 1, so I could do it that way. But I don't think he can speak if I do it that way. So I am just going to temporarily guest him. So he now has like podcast guest being on his own. So yeah, there we go. If he decides to join anytime soon, that would be really nice.
Nah.
No, of course he wouldn't, would he?
Well,
Hey!
never mind.
Is he muted himself, or is it just like server-wide muted him? I think he's muted himself. Because he should be able to talk. Yeah, there we go.
A headset went on
Oh,
for some reason.
that makes sense. Right, so do you know what this episode's about, Ben? Ben?
Yep.
Do you know what this episode's about, then?
Nope.
Have you ever watched Backseat Friends, Ben?
I've looked at your podcast text board.
Oh, nice. So, I mean, to be fair, that's basically all it is. 1 minute, I'm just going to have to turn you down a little bit because, like, you are
Yeah.
very much interfering with...
I'll turn my system sounds off because it's...
There we go, that sounds better. Right, okay, so we should really have done an audio check before we went live, since we've now been live for 7 minutes.
Hello.
It's fine, we've just been chatting shit. We've just been talking about what we've been doing this week, and we discovered we can't actually show Ryan's video of him singing
Aww.
because it contains other people in the background, and due to stupid the GPR, whatever it's called, them new laws from the EU.
You call it the GDR, Lord.
Whatever, fuck off.
GDPR.
There we go. I don't actually have to give a shit about it.
Mister,
Whoa.
You know what the GDR is, right?
Yeah, gross domestic product. No, in fact, no, it won't be. That'd be Shut up, Ryan. Go on. What's GDR then?
German Democratic Republic. It's Germany.
Oh, okay.
My mic is way
The
too
more you
sensitive.
learn.
Let me go.
The more you learn, indeed. But yeah, the moment we leave the EU, and assuming that law gets repealed in this country as well, I'll put it up somewhere. But essentially, this week's episode, we are going to be talking just general shit about UK politics, because essentially nothing else has happened this week except for UK politics hitting the fan.
I mean, I'm going to be the odd one because I don't actually look at the news that much. So, you know, I'm just going to go on to news now.
Wow. Essentially, let's start with like the Chequers plan, and like the EU's response to the Chequers plan. So I had to Google what the Chequers plan was, because from what I learned of it, there's no reason it should actually be fucking backed. Like, it should be like kicked back by the EU. Like, it actually is in their favour. So essentially, we're in the trade market with them, have to obey some laws that are like, relevant to trade. and we don't follow the European laws of like the European judiciary system, except when relevant to trade. So, to me, that sounds like it's very much not in our favour, and very much in their favour. Yeah, for some reason, they said this is a shit idea. Like, you know, what's your perfect Brexit going to be? Like, let's start with Ryan. What do you think perfect Brexit is?
It's not going to come out.
Let's assume it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Because we'll get onto that in a minute.
I don't even know at this point,
Yeah?
in all honesty.
How about you, Adam?
No idea, 'cause no matter what happens, it's going to be a shit show.
Are we just, like, preparing for, like, the worst at this point?
Nah,
Pretty
fine.
much.
I mean, no deal Brexit does actually terrify me a little bit. Because I like to cook, and I feel like I'm going to be on rations if we have no deal Brexit. And I don't like the idea of being on rations.
I mean, I don't like the idea of having to be in the trade market, or having to be forced into the EU trade market.
Well, we won't, realistically, will we? Like, if we have no deal Brexit, we will have to essentially rebuild the country from the ground up.
Yeah, but we made a big multi-million pound deal with China for trade. So
Oh, did you learn this when you went to China?
no, I learnt it from here from someone. So you know,
Oh, see, Ben went to China, right?
Yep.
Right, he went with, like, one other person on a university trip.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he hated it while he was there, and kept messaging me saying he wants, like, Sunday dinners and shit. And now
Well, yeah, because there's
won't
only
stop
one
talking
restaurant.
about it.
Right, there is only one restaurant that was not Chinese, and I'm not counting KFC. That was some French restaurant that actually did European food, and not just French food. So you could get your spaghetti and shit from
Don't
there.
like the
I
Chinese.
didn't-
All I eat is Chinese food.
I mean, above
Oh.
it, right. Above
You
it
sound like
was
UKIP,
a
Ryan.
massage parlor above it. Now, from everyone that I've heard, massage parlors in China are not massage parlors.
No, they are. You just ask for a happy ending if you want them not to be.
Yeah, you have. You ask for a certain massage.
Did you not go there and do that? Because if you didn't, you're a bit shit, aren't you?
Exactly.
Well, no, I didn't do that because.
Oh, so this is Ryan, the guy who wants to go to Amsterdam for the weed and the prozzies. That's his only reason for going.
Don't forget the sex museum.
I mean, well, looks like we're going Prague this year. So.
Oh, actually, I might join then, because I genuinely want to go see Prague.
I mean, it's Prague or Brussels, depending.
Brussels is quite nice.
Yeah, I don't mind which, to be honest, but
Yeah, I'm actually happy with both. Brussels is genuinely a lovely city.
right. I've got. Yeah.
But it's fucking. It might not happen because Brexit. We might not we might have to have like shitloads of visas and shit this year.
Oh, by the looks of it, the university won't care about paying for visas because they paid for mine.
Oh.
Yep.
Fair enough. It's fine. I found out the other day that like the America has like a shitload of visas. Like so many that it is just pointless trying to name them all. But one of them is for like excellent people, like in terms of science and shit. So theoretically, science students can go on with that visa and just do what the fuck they want. So I might just go to America one day. I think the logic is you go and like learn and like teach and whatever, but yeah. I think it's called like the A1 visa or something, or the A0.
What was the oddity with the when I went to China? Because I didn't go to China just to visit. I went to China to learn co-currency. Still don't quite know what it is. And we went.
I thought you were learning something about like how you handle GPU usage and stuff.
That was basically where it was. It's co-currency is basically two programs running simultaneously, but they both
Using the same cache.
They both trigger. Program A will trigger program B to start at say the end of program A. So you go through a loop, and at the end of it, it will start the next one, or halfway through, it will start program B. So depending on what the triggers are, will depend on when each program starts or ends and such. So a program won't end until another
Okay, so
program's
theoretically
finished.
you could have the trigger be whenever program A has to do like a low power consumption task, but program B has to have high, or whatever. Or just have two programs running simultaneously.
Well, yeah, basically. It's a lot of it was basically how you would program vending machines and such.
Of course
For
it was.
example, for example, you'd input the number and then it would cycle through the machine, unloading that item.
Yeah.
But say a second. So say program A would be you inputting the numbers. Program B would be it dispensing an item. So program A will start. Then once you input a number, it will then start program B and will pause. So program B will run until the end of program B and then go back to program A. So program A won't continue until program B is finished.
Right. Okay. I think I get that. So yeah, Ben's a massive nerd with computers. He's like Adam.
But computer gaming.
Yeah, exactly. You both do computer gaming, don't you? Or does Adam do something else? That's what I thought. You're confusing me there, Ben.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's in your class for most things, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so if we don't stay in the European single market, we get trade deals with China, with America, with Canada, all these places that want to trade with us but can't for whatever reason, or can't with a decent deal.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not bothered about whether... I'm not worried about what would happen to the UK once we leave China.
Once we leave China?
Once we leave...
We left China a long time ago,
No,
Ben.
Yeah, you see, this is the problem. This is right. China, we are kind of part of China in the sense that China is a production center, basically.
Yeah,
and if we
but we no longer occupy
productions-
Hong Kong, Ben, so
Yeah,
we left
I
China a
know,
while ago.
I know, but, for example, if we stop making steel altogether, we'll be entirely dependent on China, meaning China could up their prices and we could do fuck all about it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yes. So we basically need to continue making steel, else we will be dealing with Chinese steel at 10
Which is
times the price.
shit.
Yeah.
That's not racist, it actually is. Get a Chinese ballpoint pen versus an English ballpoint pen, you will see the difference. I mean, it's fine. I think Sheffield's happy at that news, right? They still make steel, surely, right?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Ryan, you're from, like, further north than I am.
I believe...
I have no idea.
I believe they still make steel because the chip shop near me has a Sheffield-made counterfront of metal, and it has Sheffield-made.
Yeah, but so did like most of the greats in my hometown. It could be like years old.
But, no. This was new because it got burnt down.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was like, well, obviously there's
arson doesn't melt steel beams, Ben. God. I've seen them memes. I've seen them pictures make the circulation again this week.
You see, I'm 50-50 on it, though.
No, you shouldn't be, Ben. It's clearly not an inside job.
Well, one or two of the other buildings might have been.
I mean, not really.
Well, no, that fucking video of that was it live broadcast of such and such a building's been knocked down and it is still behind them.
That was proven to be fake. You know that, right?
Oh, shush.
Like that was actually like a fake video that was created. I think it was like one of the Onions videos that they made to take the piss out of people who thought that there was a conspiracy.
Okay. Look, still don't trust America.
No one trusts America. There's a difference between trusting America.
That's why I don't entirely believe everything that comes out of America, even some disasters. Anyway.
We have just had word from Wakey. Wakey cannot join us tonight, apparently. Something's come up, so... He says he'll join us if he can, but don't expect him, basically. which is sad. So can we all have like one tier for Wakey?
Rip.
Yeah, I know, right? So by that he probably means he's playing D&D until like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Probably.
Such is life. But yeah, no, let's not get onto conspiracy theories with 9/11 because it wasn't a fucking inside job.
Well, it's not just 9/11.
Alright, what other conspiracy theories have we got then that were apparently inside jobs?
Oh, I believed in the moon landing until school when they did a whole topic on whether the moon landing was real.
Do you know it would have cost them more money to fake the moon landing than go to the moon?
Yeah, but you should have seen the lovely poster that someone made.
You could quite easily fake the moon landing now. Because we have the technology, we can rebuild him. But like back in the day, there's no chance they'd be able to do it.
Well, it was from the fact that they said that the spacecraft was mostly made out of tin foil.
It was made of aluminium. There's a difference.
Yeah, but it looked like tin foil from all the pictures. As it looked like
Ben, I want you to get a block of aluminium and then just like stick a blowtorch next to it. And see what happens.
Well, until I go to NASA and look at it from
the moon landing was not faked. Next conspiracy theory that you used to believe in. No, let's go through this.
No.
God, no, you said that wasn't the only one.
The only other thing I believe in is the oil thing, but that's just the...
What oil thing?
That certain wars were started because of oil.
Ryan, you might know more about that. I actually generally don't follow that much with war. Like, Ryan?
Oh, no, it's more recent ones than older ones.
I'm going to say a lot of, it's oil generally isn't the reason. It's more a case of it's all about waging a proxy war with Russia, a lot of the Middle Eastern conflict, and keeping that region destabilized for, in order to be able to instill puppet states there. It's not about oil.
And nothing is working. Essentially, I genuinely cannot wait for the day the Middle Eastern war ends. Because you know how I think it's all going to end? Like, when I think it's all going to end. I think it's going to end like when an atheist missionary goes over there. Like,
atheist missionary?
Yeah, because at that point, they've got no excuse to fight, if that makes sense. Like, convert both Israel and Palestine to atheism. And they no longer have an excuse to fight each other. Ben, how close to the train tracks do you live?
I'm actually trying to work out what that is, because it sounds like a train.
That was the train. That's a cargo train passing by.
Oh, yeah, I'm like 2 buildings away from the trains.
Right, so if you every so often hear that sound, that's Ben living near a train track. Like the absolute weirdo that he is.
I mean, it doesn't give the advantage of me just having to go downstairs to go to my lectures.
Brilliant, just dox yourself on live TV, Ben. Great work.
I could be in America, you don't know where I am.
But we now know that he goes to university with Ruffy. Who goes
I don't know where I am. I still don't know where I am.
It's fine. If we ever see like a massive inflation of the amount of viewers in this podcast, people are trying to work out where he is. So go on. Other than the oil thing, the moon landing, the 9/11, what else is there?
Well, the only other thing is that, which is probably more likely true, is the what is it? America being run by, basically run not by the government, but by all the rich people, basically.
Dear God.
What?
Do you know he's more of a communist than you are, Ryan?
No. I don't believe in communism that much. It's just, it makes sense when you think about it.
Does it though?
I can't be asked to go through it at the minute.
Does it make sense, Ben? Explain. We have at least 2 hours.
Well,
maybe more.
Because I think, what is it? Is it the federal something? one of the main things that produce tax for in America isn't actually part of the government.
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
That's it. Yeah.
Run by.
So
not actually
technically, you
Federal
don't.
Reserve.
Technically, you don't have to pay the taxes that they ensue.
Right, so the Federal Reserve does all the taxing. So an independent body does the taxing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that means not run
It
by
goes-
government. You realise
No.
that we have like a decentralized taxation system, right?
No, the Bank of England
Is
has.
technically not run by the government. The treasurer is instilled by the government. But the Bank of England is technically a private body. And I think it's the same system in America, isn't it? It would make sense that they copy our idea. Since they copy everything else. So you think it's run by what? The Federal Reserve or the people behind the Federal Reserve?
Basically.
How would that work?
It's not necessarily run. It's run by proxy, basically, because from what I've read up anyway, because when what is it? It's a while ago, and I haven't really looked into it since because I gave up on politics. It was something to do with the fact that when the American government needed money, they would go to somebody and then not a person, but you know what I mean, and request some sort of loany thing to get more, and then by proxy they owed the people, so that meant that they basically were run by them. That was what he was basically saying.
By that logic, we're run by China or we're run by Germany because we owe money to them.
We basically are. We are basically run by China because if China decided, fuck you, we're not giving you anything.
Then China would go bankrupt.
Yeah, but so would we, basically.
Which means we'd be in the same state we are now.
I don't see us being in that bad of a state, honestly.
Well, if China stops supplying us with money, it means they don't have interest from loans. Quite a significant fraction of their economy. Like, if they don't have interest from loans because they stop providing the money.
Look, since the Brexit thing was declared, and no, since before the Brexit thing was declared, and since now, I have seen bugger all difference, other than maybe sugar tax, but that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, that was just a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like there was
something to
plastic
do
bag
with
tax
the
for fat
northern
people.
train thing, but that probably was going to happen anyway.
What
Or
northern
was
train
been
thing?
happening. Oh, the
H2 line.
No, the H2 line is a load of bullshit, and I don't need it.
What do you mean we don't need it? Have you seen the
What,
states
the
of train
high-speed
fare?
2?
Have you seen the
High-speed
state
2?
of railway up
What?
north?
No, what? London to what was it? Birmingham or something?
London to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's only estimated to knock about 45 minutes off the train time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's where it stops, isn't it?
No,
Yeah, but
it
barely
doesn't really
stops
help
anyway.
much.
Well,
What's
yeah,
up, 45 minutes? The train journey is now only, what is it, 10 hours? On a sleeper
doesn't
train?
Didn't you
It
say
doesn't
10
cut.
hours?
On a sleeper train, it's 10 hours, isn't it?
Considering there are other places and other parts of the UK that could have done with that money, such as
Such
Oh, you're
as.
going mad if you think it's
such
10
as the
hours.
fact that Lincolnshire doesn't actually connect to the fucking main roads properly.
It doesn't connect to the main railway properly either.
And the main railway, yeah, exactly. Yet they decided to stick a HS2 line in somewhere else.
Right? I don't know what you're saying. So Lincolnshire needs to be connected to the main roads.
No, Lincolnshire needs to be better. Lincolnshire's travel infrastructure needs to be fixed.
Okay, there is a link to the A1 to Lincoln. There's a Lincoln bypass on the A1 which gets you to Boston Skegness. It's pretty well connected.
Compared to other places, it isn't.
What does it provide?
Look, considering
No, what does it provide? What does it provide that it requires proper road connections?
what I don't get what you're on about.
If you're going to invest in upgrading logistics systems such as railways or roads,
Hmm.
the thing that you want it connecting to must provide something worth upgrading that. In other words, you're increasing the economy's strength by upgrading the lines.
So putting a HS2 line in would be increasing the economy.
It increases the amount of traffic towards Scotland. That's about it, or
Yeah, but
towards.
traffic can get towards Scotland anyway. Taking 40 minutes off the journey doesn't really do anything.
What's the journey now? What? How long does it
I
currently
don't
take?
know what the journey is because I haven't gone from London to
Let's find out.
Edinburgh.
Let's find out. Also, I kind of love how this was supposed to be a UK politics thing, and it's just turned into the country's fucked.
It's not fucked. It's working perfectly fine. It's just the government's making stupid decisions.
London to Edinburgh by train. Duration. It takes 4 hours and 32 minutes to get from London King's Cross to Edinburgh. So
it'll
how
take-
long is it taking off it? 40 what?
Estimated 45 minutes, I think it was.
Ryan, that is about a fifth.
Wow.
That's quite a lot.
I would. The only time I would consider it is if it would cut it in half.
No, you consider the amount it's going to cost to how much it's cutting off.
What is the point in cutting off a fifth when you could just do something else? and
'Cause the
someone
cost
just
is
have
gonna be
get up
positive.
45 minutes earlier.
That's not how trains work.
Not as in someone just gets up a bit earlier and gets the train earlier.
That's not how trains work. Trains
Well,
have set
someone
times.
doesn't have a job
Right.
in wherever on the other side of the country that they live.
Basically, Ben, it cuts the commute down to being an adequate time for people in London to work in Edinburgh if they choose so, or
You
the other way
move
around.
to Edinburgh.
Or the
You
other way
don't
around.
decide to work in the other side of the country
No,
and live
that's-
in the other side of the country.
No, what if you can't? What if you can't afford it?
Then you get a job closer to home. For example, I wouldn't work in London because I cannot be asked to pay £3 for a can of Coke.
There's someone who travels for work and goes all across the country to do different things to work.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay, that makes more sense. But then, Hmm.
It's a good idea. It's costing a lot of money, but it's a good idea. No, honestly, the cost is worth it. A fifth of a journey being knocked off is not insignificant. Like, you're having a problem with it, I think, because, your hometown didn't get a connection. It's alright, right? It's alright, Ben. They're knocking part of my village down to put it in.
Yeah, well, where I'm from, they're putting in like 1,000 more homes, and then deciding 3 years later to put a road in. And when that road is never going to get used, and the road that is currently used as a cut through is just going to get worse, even though it's not even classed as a road yet.
In
Yes.
fact, it doesn't make sense to me why Skegness doesn't have direct line connection.
Oh, because they took off half the track.
What?
If you look into the railway in Boston,
Yeah.
they took out half of the track. There is a whole track that is now a main road.
So, a
But
major
isn't
tourist...
really
I mean, I say
used
major,
properly.
you know what I mean? Like, it's a tourist destination.
Yeah.
Gets its, its ass handed to it because we want to put
They
road in.
take out the track and then put a main road in. If you look at the train station, there is half of a train station missing because they took the track out.
What, they just saw the train station in half?
No, they just took the track out. So there is a platform on the other side, but it is currently used for nothing because there is no track.
That's amazing.
I mean, they have the weird cut the turn off bits, but that's it.
Right.
Like the dividers where it cuts into different.
So go on, Ben.
Line.
What would you have done with the money for this HS2 line?
Fix Lincolnshire.
But that's not a valid investment. Lincolnshire is an
Yes, it
agricultural
is.
centre, right?
Yeah, and if you got rid of Lincolnshire, where would the agriculture come from?
What do you mean? No, I mean, like, Lincoln's connections are strong enough for its agricultural needs.
I don't want to have to go
The
through
supply and
Lincoln.
demand is fine for agriculture.
Look, I don't want to have to go half an hour just get on the main road to get to somewhere like Sheffield.
So for you want more convenience for you personally, not for the country.
Yeah, but it cuts the journeys in half.
Ryan, does this offend you as a communist?
I'm just staying out of this one for now. Staying, getting entertainment from it.
I thought selfishness was like bad for communists.
Yeah, it kind of is.
There you go, see? See, you want more convenience. I'm all in favour of having more convenience if it's going to be convenient for the country. So you don't want to like take a half-hour journey to get to a train station to get to Sheffield?
I don't want to take a half-hour journey, just get onto the main road to get anywhere.
But you go to university.
Yeah.
Are you going to live in like your hometown forever?
No.
Right?
But the point is, at this point in time, I am happy living where I came from. Despite most people saying it's a shithole.
Yeah, everyone says everything's a shithole about where they come from.
Yeah, but that was something totally different that I won't get into because I'll sound bad.
Right. Okay. So, okay. So let's just say we get this, was it £395 million that we spend on the EU allegedly back.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Let's get back on topic.
Mhm.
What would you spend that on, Ben? You get 395 million.
Oh, if I personally had 355 million, I'd spend it on something totally different. But
If you were the Prime Minister of this country, if you were
Yes.
Tesmez, because we don't have Wake here, so I'm going to have to say Tesmez.
Yeah,
What Tesmez, what would you do with it? So 395 million. Or is it billion? I can't even fucking remember.
Well, what's currently wrong with the country? Because, like I said, I haven't really paid attention to the news much recently.
Currently, we're in a housing
I gave
crisis,
up on
apparently,
it.
or in 5, according to the news.
How are we in crisis?
I don't fucking know. Apparently,
I mean,
according to Sky News, we are in a housing crisis, and we're in 5 of them.
What are the current crises according to Sky News?
I don't know, I didn't check it because I just sort of thought that sounds way too funny. And kind of tragic at the same time.
You say house crisis or health crisis?
House crises. Crises.
Oh, fuck house
yeah,
crises. They always say
In a
that.
legit housing crisis.
Well, that's what I
because-
thought. All I know is that we're kind of overpopulated, so...
No, it's not that. It's that we have an economy that is built entirely around selling houses and having a high value on houses. But because because houses have become so
Devalued.
expensive. No, because they've got so much value, nobody can afford to buy them.
I don't know,
There is-
Ryan. I can't really say that the
There
housing
is
crisis is like, you
thousands
know...
of empty houses in the UK, but people just simply can't afford to buy.
So we
why
don't have
why
a
don't
house
we
crisis.
reevaluate the value of them houses, and then reevaluate how much money people can realistically afford,
Yeah,
and
so
the government buy them off of the people who want to sell. So the people who are selling have sold their houses, and then the government charge the rent to the people who need houses. Is it just mirrors? That sounds like a stupidly simple solution.
The house, like landlord agencies, would not accept anything like that. Basically,
Yeah, but it's not landlord agencies, is it? Like, empty houses could be like landlord agencies. It could be homeowners just wanting to sell.
yeah. I'm gonna say. I mean, like, I'm just not.
So let's just
defending landlords,
take for example, let's get rid of the landlord agencies because, like you say, they're never going to agree to that.
Yeah, I know. Like, so it's part of the problem is that. Yeah,
There's
really
more money
kind of
for them to
stupid.
just keep evicting people like that. It's tragic, but it's true. Like,
yeah, but right. Okay.
But let's
so-
just say the homeowners. Let's say they want, say, I don't know. Let's say there's 1,000 houses up for grabs for, I don't know, 120,000. If the government offered them 90,000 for every house, you're gonna get enough people there saying, yeah, sure, we just want a shot of it. Here, have the house. Thanks for the 90k. Yeah. That you could then give them, like, rent them out to people in the area who can't, like, afford to, say, rent or buy a 120,000 pound house for a reasonable price that they can afford, while still promoting the idea that they go to work.
Well, yeah, this is the problem. You walk down a road and you go, oh, look, there's 50% of the houses are empty, mainly in the more central parts of towns and cities. And then you go further out and you just see loads of housing estates that are being built. And then the housing estates gets bought. But why is the point in buying the housing estates when there's empty houses there?
It's to do with land value. That's all it is. It's
Well-
sometimes more expensive to sell a house that's empty
Well,
than it is to just
right,
build new
yeah.
houses.
But all right, several of the houses down the road I know, and I'm not going to blow the thing.
Yeah,
Are
don't dox
empty.
yourself even more.
No,
Ben.
I'm not. I'm not doxing myself anymore. Right. I went down the road the other day and saw several houses empty,
Yeah.
and I visited a friend and saw that the house that they owned was about the same size, if not smaller, than the house that was empty. But the house that was empty wasn't even for sale because probably the landlord or whatever, or the owner decided they're not getting enough money for it, and they're not bother selling it. And it's like, well, what is the point in building these new houses that are the same size as the, if not smaller than the ones that are currently empty? And then,
See, when I see new houses being built, like where I'm
Mm.
from, it's not like the council that's putting them up.
yeah, I know.
It's so there was one piece of land where I'm from that was owned by a development agency who couldn't afford, like, couldn't realistically see any way of flipping that land to make it any more profit. So they turned it into housing estates and sold the land on.
Hmm.
So I think they sold some of it to like landlords and stuff, and then some of it just to the people who wanted the house. So that was more of a case of they owned the land, they wanted to develop on it. Bang, let's throw a new housing estate up there. It could have been a similar system where you're from.
Hmm.
I don't know, because I don't know what the housing situation's like around you. I don't know if you have a lot of empty space that isn't used.
There is a fair bit of empty space which isn't used, which is why I don't make sense building a second housing estate.
So the thing
Then-
is, you can't put housing estates anywhere.
Oh yeah, I know.
You
It's
can't just
going
put-
in a place that makes sense.
Yeah,
but the
so you've
point
got to have
is,
enough commercial.
Why is the point in building the houses there when there are houses elsewhere in that location that are currently not being used because either they need a slight bit of TLC or
Which can cost a lot of money.
yeah, but I don't care. If there are houses that are empty, why is the point in building new houses? Just spend a little bit more money just fixing the old houses.
Yeah, but it might not be a
instead
little
of
bit more
leaving
money.
them to go decrepit and broken down and God knows what living in there. In the center, in the centers and stuff, it makes no sense.
They might not. It might cost a lot more money to like
I don't
renovate the house.
give a shit how much it costs.
But if
just
it
to
costs more
renovate
to
a
renovate
house.
a house than
Right,
to build a
no.
new house, and they have the
If-
room to build more houses,
If I could build two houses or fix one house, I'd rather fix the one house than build two.
why?
Because the land that would be built on could be used for something better than two houses that will probably, I don't care, the pieces of shit probably. Because most new houses are. Because they basically started falling apart as soon as you put them together.
I don't know. Houses around me are pretty sturdy.
No, but most of the houses I've seen.
Like, to be honest, the new houses like where I'm from, they're nicer than the houses like the old ones.
Externally,
No, I'm like internally.
Oh no, yeah, but
Like, they're more
internally,
spacious.
I don't know.
They're a lot
I
warmer.
don't know where you've been living.
Do I just live in like fucking the middle of nowhere, like
Most,
master suburb here?
by the looks of it, because most houses I've seen, compared to other houses built, say, in the 60s.
Adam, is my middle
Oh,
class
sorry.
showing?
Oh yeah.
Thanks. Great.
For example, a house that I visited, that was built around, I think, the 80s, in a similar location to a house that I visited that was built a month or two ago. That was in basically the same sort of location, but in like obviously different places. Obviously, 'cause you
Yeah.
can't have the same place, right? We had half the space in the living rooms and such, as what was in the 80s house. The 80s house was pretty much two houses in the same plot.
So why not split that down the middle?
Well, in theory, you could do that, but internally, it wasn't designed like that.
So knock the walls down, rebuild it.
Yeah, but that'll cost more.
Yeah. Now you see the issue.
Yeah, but why would I bother? I don't like new houses, okay?
Why?
Because they always have shitty layouts.
What new houses are you looking at?
Like you have the good thing, which is like the what is it, kitchen diner, and then the living room's like the size of a fucking was it student bedroom?
Right. I mean, looking at my student,
Yeah.
I would be very happy at like,
No,
a
not
living room
your
in my
student
size.
bedroom, but for example, say a first year student bedroom.
Yeah,
not
no,
a
I've seen
house.
some big ones. I've seen some big, some big dollar like student accommodations. You realise where you stopped in first year and where you're stopping now are like the exception, not the rule, right?
Oh no, I'm fine with where I'm doing it.
I'm just saying, like, they are exceptionally small.
Yeah, but we're not talking about student houses, are we?
No, you're talking about your student accommodation. You're stopping at.
Yes. Anyway, living rooms, in my opinion, in new houses are fucking tiny.
What do you use a living room for, Ben?
Most of my living.
So you go to a living room, dear, like to do your stuff, your day-to-day life.
Yes.
Living rooms are for retired people.
No.
They are. Though, that's the thing. They're for middle-aged and retired people.
Too bad I do my.
Yeah, but why would I?
living room.
What?
Yeah,
What do you
exactly.
mean?
What-
Do you not go to a
Why
study and
would
do
I
most of your
sit
shit?
in the kitchen to say?
No, you don't. You go to your
Read
study.
something.
You work in a study or a
Why do you
library.
need a study when you've
Our
got a
study is a very
living room?
middle-class,
And
middle-aged thing.
okay, how you got a study?
What do you mean?
The study is a very middle-class, middle-aged thing. Let's just throw that one out there.
Most of the modern houses that I've seen are built with studies.
No. Most
no.
houses.
Wait,
Yes,
what?
have-
They're not built with the
No.
study?
No. They have
What?
a
Probably
kitchen
most of the things
diner.
we've seen are built for the
right.
middle class as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they were
Most
valued at like
houses-
90k, right? And they weren't that expensive.
Yeah, but still, most people can't afford that.
Really? That's like
Yes.
minimum wage on like a mortgage, and you can afford that.
Look, most houses nowadays have a kitchen diner, a front room, and a garage.
See, I like kitchen diners. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, I'm fine with kitchen diners, but when the kitchen diner's with a small front room, why the fuck do you have a wall blocking the front room?
No,
from
if that's the case,
kitchen?
what I'd do is I'd knock through like the living
Yeah,
room.
but you're not allowed to do that legally. For
No, I mean
about
like
5
if I was
years.
the
You'd have
contractor
to
building
live
a
there
house.
for 5 years. Yeah, exactly. If I was the contractor
I'd
building a house,
I'd
wouldn't
have like
the
a kitchen.
wall.
I'd have a kitchen, living room, diner, like combo.
Yeah,
Have an enormous downstairs floor
but-
space, and not have
but
to spend as much building.
remember, this is builders. Builders don't think.
Yeah, they do. It's labourers that
Clearly,
don't
they
think.
don't when they're building the fucking houses.
Well, a builder doesn't.
and sticking
builder-
a wall in.
you know a builder
making
just gets a
one room
blueprint,
look
right?
Diddy.
You know, a builder just gets a
don't
blueprint and goes,
care.
"Yeah, okay, sure, I'll build that."
Surely they can.
You know,
think,
builders say the
this
same
room
thing
looks
you're
fairly
saying now,
small.
right?
This room looks fairly small. I'll have a word with the architect.
Yeah, but they can't, because the architect has to get planning permission, Ben. So once the builder has been, like, hired, all the paperwork has gone through. Most of the time, Ryan.
No, I said over something here.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah,
Right, so if they want to do any modifications, say if like the head builder goes, yeah, okay, that doesn't make sense to me, I'm going to go to the architect. The architect's then going to reapply for planning permission, which then might be like rejected because, oh, why would you do this? Because that's not safe or whatever. Like, builders don't generally, know how to build a house, or they know how to follow a plan to the letter. Most of the time.
The problem is that, obviously,
you get builder architects, obviously, but
a lot of the time, is the people that are like funding construction generally like to dodge corners.
Yeah, but they can't.
When you say
There's only so many corners you can cut.
You say that.
Alright, let's not bring like Grenfell up, alright? Alright, let's not bring like the new student accommodation that had to have its cladding removed.
For example, a house that I visited at one point that was new for a month.
New for a month?
About a month old or two, or maybe half a year. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Yeah. The banister was loose, despite it being passed off and saying perfectly safe. Everything is fine in this.
A loose banister isn't an unsafe build.
Loose banister, yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Because if you lean on it and fall down the fucking stairs because the banister's come off,
you're not supposed to lean on a banister. You're meant to rest on it.
Yeah, but if you put
Ben,
your
do you
hand...
lean on your banister?
If you touched the banister at all, it would move.
Right, but that's not unsafe construction. That's unsafe
A wobbly
interior.
banister is not an... right, so...
Architects and interior designers are different.
I'm not on about the architects.
Right, so interior designing, yeah? Let's say the interior designer's a total tard. Which, by the sounds of it, he was.
Yes.
But you could fix that in a day. All they'd have to do is ring up like their landlord and say, "Will you fix this banister? This is unsafe."
The thing is, though, right, most of the time nowadays, they pass it off, and then if you say, "Oh, this is wrong," they will probably not come to you until like 2-3 months later, and then by that time you've probably fixed it yourself.
No, Ben. If it's an unsafe structure or an unsafe part of the structure, they have to come out either the same day or next day by law.
They don't always follow the law. That's the problem.
You were talking about the exceptions, not the rule. Generally speaking, they come out the same day or the next day. Ben, are you a homeowner?
How am I a homo?
Exactly. Do you know many homeowners? Or do you just, like, from what you've experienced?
I thought you said homo.
Oh yeah, are you a homo, totally? Because that's an important question, apparently.
Well, that's why I was thinking, why are you saying, am I a homo?
Yeah, Ben, are you a homo?
No.
Do you know many homeowners?
Yes.
Right. And they've all had the same problem?
Most of the time, yes. Unless they bought our old house, which most of them have.
Which is survivalist paradox, Ben. Like, you're assuming that their old houses are built better because they're old houses or whatever.
But most of the time,
statistically speaking, most of them have fallen down. It's true, Ben.
Why would you buy a fallen down house? Why would you buy a house?
You wouldn't buy a fallen down house. The fallen down houses don't exist, like the majority of the houses from the 80s.
Yes, but most of the houses that are still standing are sturdy and strong.
Again, exception, not the rule.
I'm tagging out. I can't be arsed at this point.
Right, should we get back to Brexit then?
Yeah, let's go back to Brexit.
Let's get back to Brexit again before we, like, obliterate the housing crisis. Right, so...
There is no housing crisis.
There's 5, apparently.
No, there isn't.
There's 5, apparently.
Yes, Brexit. What's been happening with Brexit other than checkers?
That's the point, nothing. So, the EU's basically laughed the UK off the stage. Like, oh, you can't have this because this is shit, right? And if you don't fix it, like by the next time we meet, right, when we can't be asked anymore, is essentially what they said.
I don't get why we're getting pushed around by somewhat the EU when. Why are we getting pushed around by the EU?
The thing is that EU
Because they
can't
think they
let
can.
They clearly can't.
Exactly.
Brexit cannot let Brexit be a success because it will encourage Portugal, Ireland, Greece, Spain, and
Well,
the other laundry list of countries that have got nationalist movements rising right now.
Well, yeah, because they all started rising as soon as we declared Brexit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which was actually funny because I started laughing when that happened. I was
So,
like,
like Ryan says, if the EU lets it go through, it'll encourage like copycats. So like they kind of
but then
can't
at
let
some
it be a
point-
success.
they have to realise, hang on a minute, we've just passed off a really good deal because we're trying to prevent
Yeah.
other countries from.
So the
Yeah.
Checkers plan isn't the worst deal in the world. It's not good for us. It's brilliant for them.
What happened to that guy saying, "Look, you're gonna have to accept something at some point and not be a twat," or something along them lines? I thought a new guy came in and basically bollocked the EU.
I don't know. It's probably that to me sounds like something that Farage would say, to be honest. But no. The Checkers plan basically, the EU is in an economic agreement with us, like trade-wise.
Yeah, but
So
does that
we
mean we can't
basically-
trade with anyone else?
No, we can. That's the thing. So we join the free market, right?
Yeah, but can we
But
still
have
trade
access
with
to the single
China?
market.
What? How are they profiting from that?
What do you mean? How are they profiting from that? Because we're still
If we
trading
can
with them.
If we can still trade from, if we can now, if we leave, we can then trade with everyone instead of them originally saying you're never going to trade with the
Well,
EU.
Ben,
again.
we can trade with everyone right now. It's just there are tariffs.
As in with, so what does it maintain the tariff then?
No,
If we leave,
we
Right.
just have access to the single market.
and access to the
That's it.
wait what? So if we leave with the Checkers plan, we have to use.
We have
the
access.
euro.
No, we have access to the single market, the EU single market, and we have to
Yes.
follow EU regulations regarding trade. So, for argument's sake, if you want to trade like a table that was made of wood, you'd have to follow the EU regulations around, cutting down wood and sourcing wood, and then the construction rules around that to sell
Well,
that
that
table
makes
in the EU.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But if you've seen IKEA, you'll know that's probably not an issue.
Oh, speaking of IKEA, you're going on a trip to IKEA with the SU.
Wait, that's a thing. 'Cause I could do with
Yeah.
some. I could do with some
Yeah.
meatballs. When's that?
Yeah.
I can't remember, but it's actually a thing.
I might be doing that
Yo.
because I want some meatballs and I also need a new lamp. The two
I just
reasons you go
wanted-
to IKEA.
I just want to go to IKEA. It sounds fun.
Have you never been to IKEA?
No, I've been outside of IKEA.
Okay, so what you do with IKEA, right, is you take the piss. Because it is so oddly set up, right, that it's basically a maze that goes one direction. And then you got Swedish meatballs. IKEA's amazing. But no, seriously, if you, the only two reasons you go to IKEA is to go to the cafe or to get a lamp. Let's be honest. You're not gonna like outfit your house from IKEA like they do in Fight Club, are
There's
you?
also some biscuits as well.
Oh shit, yeah. That so it's food or lamps.
I want a desk for my desk.
To be fair, I quite like a new desk, but I kind of don't want to buy IKEA desks because they're not that great. Sorry, no offense, IKEA. This video brought to you by Asda Living. I'm kidding. I don't think Asda would ever sponsor us. We take the piss out of things like, that they're involved with. But no, like the Checkers plan's pretty good for them because that means that they get our trade with no tariffs.
Mm.
And we still trade with them goods that are adequate to their expectations. And they can change the laws as and when they want with no input from us.
So what's the difference between that and not that?
So basically, the difference between that and like a no-deal Brexit
Mm.
is we won't have access to the single market.
Mm.
There'll be a hard border on Northern Ireland,
Mm.
or there'll be a hard border between the island of Ireland and the UK, which
Right.
cannot happen under the Good Friday Agreement, as well as no hard border on between Ireland and the Republic because of the Good Friday Agreement. And
Oh, dear.
we would have control over immigration, and we'd be able to trade in the free market. That's about it. But we'd have no plans in place. We'd have no immediate contracts for trade. We'd have basically we'd be subjected to emergency spending for trade, which means our economy would be shot for a good few years.
So, yeah, but right. So
Essentially, a
then
nuke gets dropped on the Bank of England.
So
We
you're
have about the
saying-
same amount of money.
So you're saying that we would by doing a no deal Brexit we would have no trade agreements, when it is actually a lie anyway because we have a trade agreement with China.
No, we would have no immediate trade agreements that we don't already have now. Which is quite a hit. We'd have no real... We'd have no way of getting like medicine into the UK.
But don't a lot of the EU countries trade with us?
Yeah,
As in they buy us
through
our
the
stuff.
single market.
They buy our stuff.
Through the single market.
No, I mean we buy theirs. I mean.
Yeah, through the single market.
Yeah, but then they would by proxy they would be shot as well because they would
Yeah,
no
but
longer
they-
be selling
that's kind of
the
the
amount
issue,
of stuff
Ben.
that we would have. Yeah, so
It dicks
They
everyone
wouldn't
over.
want- yeah, so they wouldn't want a no deal
Britain does
Brexit.
not export that much.
Hmm?
Britain doesn't export that much. But
No,
does
I meant
import quite
the
a
other
lot.
way. I meant
Now, what do we actually
are,
export?
We are a country of consumers.
We're
So
more
therefore, any country that doesn't no longer
Isn't Britain basically just like a country of services? That's essentially how we get our money.
We are, if I remember rightly,
Like we
think
export
it's
services
either-
more than anything.
we are
We have a-
banking or we're something to do with.
One minute, Ryan, I'm just going to have to turn you off because I can't hear.
No, I can't remember.
Yeah, I was saying we do have a, the majority of our industry right now is service.
Which doesn't really affect anyone because they can get the services from elsewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
they'd
but
have...
we-
Okay, so essentially the EU would have like maybe a couple weeks worth of, fuck, we've got nothing. And then they'd be like, well, okay, we'll just get it from somewhere else in the EU.
No, I mean, right. We buy, let's say, the German cars and the
But they would go up.
Italian wine or whatever.
They would go up.
Well, no, we just wouldn't buy it. We'd just
Right.
drink our own stuff and buy American cars or something.
But Ben,
Yes.
I want to drink Italian wine, so I've got to buy Italian wine, right? That means for me to import Italian wine, it's going to go up. There's always going to be a demand for for an item, right?
Yeah, but if you're the single person that's
But I
a
won't be
sucker
the
to
single person,
drink,
will I?
to drink Italian wine when you can just get the stuff from south of England that's basically the same thing.
Oh, don't you dare say that.
Wine tastes like wine.
Oh, my
And don't say, oh, it has a perfumey scent with a slight tint
No,
of
that's not what I'm on
salty
about.
caramel.
That's not what I'm on about, Ben.
Load of crap.
I'm saying
Yeah.
you can't just say on the internet that wine tastes like wine. I agree with you, right?
Exactly.
But you can't say that on the internet, Ben, because that's how you get stabbed.
I admit, I drink, I drink rosé, but
Oh, I can't stand wine.
the rosés are the only wine I'd actually touch. And that's. a
But
push.
Ben,
Hmm.
there'd be no more Carlsberg. Or there would be, but it'd be expensive.
So.
Depending on the
Don't
deal of
drink
Brexit we get,
Carlsberg.
there might be a hard border between Ireland and England, which means Guinness is going to go up to about, what, £6-7 a pint?
Oh dear.
Guinness is quite a popular drink, Ben. That would piss off more people than you know, right? You would be surprised how annoyed people would be at that.
I thought dark fruits was supposed to be the popular drink.
I'm pretty sure Dark Fruits is Coors, isn't it? It's brewed by Coors, so they have a UK brewery.
Yeah,
I think.
so.
I'm not entirely sure. But if they don't, Dark Fruits is going to go up. Basically, booze is going to go up.
Yeah, but most drinks that say they're from different countries are actually from the UK.
No, some of them genuinely are brewed in
proven
different countries.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that some of them aren't, but most of a lot of them are brewed in the UK. So it's only the fact that the country.
So
the
John
company
Smith's has
is from
quite a few breweries over here. So anything that's brewed by John Smith's won't go up that much.
Mhm.
It might go up just based on like them being able to get supplies and stuff. Like
It's
if
like
they import
Foster's,
hops and
I
stuff.
think, is brewed in
Foster's
the
have got
UK.
a UK brewery. They've got quite a
Yeah,
few.
exactly.
But I think Foster's is brewed through John Smith's anyway. I'm not entirely sure on that one. I would have to ask.
I'm not sure about Strongbow.
I think Strongbow, depending on the type of Strongbow, is brewed in other countries. I don't think Dark Fruit. I think Dark Fruit's brewed over here.
Dark Fruits is just Strongbow with liqueur in it. It makes it cordial. Sorry.
It's not actually, but okay, Ben.
Dark fruits is just something that's shit and you shouldn't drink. Let's be fair.
Ryan, I mean,
I don't like bitter shit.
so why do you drink cider?
I drink straw.
Oh right, you drink dark fruits, don't you? That's right. Yeah.
Yes. Or I do sometimes drink woodpecker.
Oh, dear God. Get scrumpy. Get proper scrumpy cider.
I mean, I try and avoid cider because it doesn't really sit with me properly.
Right,
It's
so.
just
Also, I don't like bitter things, right? But there ain't no like a lager and lime on a hot summer's day.
I admit lager lime isn't bad,
There you
but
go. But you don't like bitter stuff.
I just don't like hops.
Right.
When someone says, "Oh, this is nice," and then it just tastes
Oh,
like
price
crap.
of Budweiser might go up as well.
Budweiser.
Because I think we get most of ours as an import.
Oh, you know the
brew it
Bud
over
Light
here, but-
beer advert with the frogs is actually the Budweiser advert with the frogs. They just took the
Yeah.
advert. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we get most of that through import because it's just cheaper. But yeah, so essentially alcohol's going to go up in price. To be fair, alcohol's probably going to go up in price with or without Brexit, so. I don't know. Fuel will probably go up in price. Chemical feedstocks will go up in price.
Yeah, but
By
fuel's
quite
going to
so
go
much.
up in price anyway because it will eventually stop.
No, I mean like drastically. Like there'll be a steady increase of fuel anyway, like fuel price. But I mean like drastically increase. Chemical feedstocks will go up. We get most of them from Germany and France, I think. But yeah, essentially it will get more expensive without a deal. Which is why we're planning for no deal Brexit, just in case we have to have like immediate trade like that. Like overnight trade. Because if we've still got access to the single market, we can phase out the single market.
Wait a minute, all right.
And costs
What
will
does-
probably go down if that's the case.
What do the other parts of the UK do?
What do you mean?
Well, England does England. I know what England does.
Oh,
but what
wow,
do the
yeah,
rest of
England
them
does
do?
England. What do you mean?
What does Wales, Scotland, and Ireland produce?
I think Scotland produces a lot of alcohol and wood
Right, okay.
and paper and things around
Yeah.
that. It's got a large
whiskey.
tourist thing as well, so again, another service.
Right, okay. What about Wales?
Same again. Well, Wales is... Don't they produce a lot of agricultural stuff as well as like meat and whatnot?
I think it was decided that Wales wouldn't actually be able to stand on its own anyway.
Yeah. Scotland's got a lot of oil as well.
It couldn't actually break away from the UK.
No, they don't want to though.
Yeah, no, but if they wanted to, they couldn't actually do that.
Yeah, but
because
they're quite happy
they
being part of the
wouldn't
UK.
fucking be able to- Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Ireland, it kind of makes sense. North and South Ireland being one. Geologically, like that.
Do you mean geographically?
Geographically, sure. So I haven't done geography for a couple of years. Yeah, geographically then. It makes what?
Nothing.
What?
Nothing.
What?
Seriously, nothing. I was laughing at a
Don't-
text.
Right. Stop texting while you're on a podcast.
Continue.
Is it the same person as last time?
No, actually, it's not.
All right.
I think last time it was you.
What?
Yeah, no, last time it was you.
No,
Because
what
you
about the
messaged
other
halfway
day?
through.
Is it the same person as the other
Maybe it's
day?
a cult.
No, it's not actually. Because there'd be
Okay.
no point.
Right. I'll have to ask you about that one. Right.
Fuck it.
Right. Okay.
Ben's a
So-
twat, right? That's basically
No,
what we've
I'm not.
learned.
I am not a twat.
Ben is a bit of a twat.
This is why I keep my views to myself.
No, I'm just saying, like, no.
How am I a twat?
No, you're not a twat to the contrary. Apart from the weird, yeah.
I'm not a twat to the country. What?
Let's renovate a house instead of building two more.
It makes more sense. What? Look.
Anyway.
If you look at... Okay, yeah.
Back to Brexit.
Yes.
So,
Right. So if Brexit happened and parts of the country wanted to split off,
why would
does
parts
it
of the countries
matter?
want to split off?
Because of the stupid thing with Scotland wanting to break away.
Genuinely, I think
failing
if we wind up
twice.
having a no-deal Brexit and a hard border on Ireland and between Ireland and North of Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, I genuinely think the Republic of Ireland might join the UK.
That would be funny.
Just for the sake of, okay, you're going to allow us to have some sovereignty? Yeah, not a problem. I guess you just don't want a hard border, right? Yeah.
Just part way through building.
Building.
Just stop.
We must build the wall. Do we have to? Can't we just, like, have a seat in Parliament?
I think it'd be funny just digging a trench.
Fucking hell. This isn't, we're not going back to 80s, Ben. Jesus.
No. What you do is you start from the sea, and you just create a river.
A moat through Ireland.
Yeah, put a moat through Ireland.
What? So you've got the islands of Ireland, as opposed to the island
You
of
have-
Ireland.
North Ireland and the Republic of Ireland being their own islands.
I genuinely worry for Ben's sanity sometimes.
What?
That is
Well,
a
I have
terrible
no
idea. Oh my
It crossed-
lord.
It crossed my mind several times when through the Scottish stupidity thing.
The Scottish stupidity thing. I mean, right.
The attempting to break away and then deciding not to.
They had a referendum. You know that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Right. So, essentially, the big issues around Brexit
Yeah.
are a hard border between Ireland and the Republic of, free trade being quite a big one, and the fact that if we stay part of the single market and the judicial system, we will have to accept immigrants and then have no control over our borders. They're the
Yeah, I
three
think we
main
should
problems. So essentially,
It's something to do with power.
yeah, it's
It's
to do. Go on, what were you saying?
Also connected to the European power grid, so it'd be interesting to see what happens with that.
Oh, fuck. I forgot we even did that.
Wait.
We're part of the European power grid.
Hang
Yes,
on a
we're
minute.
connected to
Brexit,
mainland
Does
Europe.
that mean they'll just unplug us?
They could. They wouldn't, because we provide a lot of power.
That and it would pretty much be.
Like, have you
Yeah,
seen the number of nuclear
killing
reactors
genocide or
in
whatever
Scotland?
it is. Oh, wait. So that's the other thing we produce then.
Essentially, yeah. Services. Then
That's
again,
actually quite funny.
most of mainland Europe has, like, a power plant per city, so... Like, I remember when I went to Poland, like, climbing up to the top of, like, a cathedral, just, like, looking one direction, seeing a power plant, looking behind me and seeing another. I was like, Jesus. How much power does one city need? But no, it's genuinely, I think that's one of our main exports, isn't it? Like, that isn't the service power. And even that is Scotland. That's not really us. That's Scotland. So theoretically,
Yeah, but don't we pay something for Scottish universities?
what do you mean?
I'm not saying that's my view. I'm just saying from what I know.
What you mean? Scottish people get to go to university for free?
Yeah.
So do the Manx.
So do the what?
The Manx,
Manx.
as in the people of the Isle of Man. The Manx. They're called Manx.
Yeah, but we're not talking about a random island off of the UK. I mean,
We own them.
yeah, I know, but
They get money from us. They're
I'm not
independent.
bothered by the Isle of Man because it does the motorbike thing.
Right.
Um,
Okay. Oh shit! Actually.
What?
What happens to the TT with Brexit?
Probably not much because, like you said, they're a dependency of the UK.
Yeah, true.
Really,
They're
really-
technically not part of the EU now anyway, so.
It's more worrying about what happens to Gibraltar.
Oh,
Yeah, I was going to
fuck,
say
yeah.
Gibraltar's the big one.
Well, it's
But
Gibraltar an
Gibraltar's
island,
still
isn't it?
part of the UK.
Yeah, Gibraltar and the Northern Ireland. Because you say Gibraltar's part of the UK, Ben, but you got to remember, Spain wants Gibraltar back.
We actually might have to give it him back.
Or doesn't want Spain.
No,
What
that's
I
the thing.
know.
So currently, we provide workers from Gibraltar to go to Spain. That's like the thing. So there's no border between Gibraltar and Spain.
Mm.
With Brexit, they have no reason to not put a border in anymore because we aren't providing them with workers. Which means basically the entire port of Gibraltar is going to be out of a job. Apart from the expats. Brexit genuinely might have like
I
a
just went
ridiculously...
to a dark place in my head just then. Alright.
Brexit actually might
Yeah.
have major implications to the state and stability of global finances.
Yes, Spain will just have to leave the EU as well.
No, it won't. Spain's got no reason to. Spain's getting more out of the EU than they're giving. So like, they've got no
They
have-
reason.
Some reason to leave.
No, like countries that have reasons to leave: France and Germany, and us. But
I
France,
thought Germany
was
France,
basically in
France and
control
Germany,
of the
yeah,
EU.
exactly.
They've
France
been
and
debt
Germany
to the
are
EU.
not going to
Spain
leave.
leaves. Spain leaves, they don't have to pay their debt to the EU, so Spain, it's like Greece. There are some of the countries that would really benefit right now from leaving the EU.
Yeah, but to be honest,
cut
if
out quite a lot of that.
no, he's saying there's some countries that would genuinely benefit quite a lot from leaving the EU.
You know, like Spain, Portugal, Greece, Ireland.
I don't see how Spain benefits that much. It's only a debt, isn't it? That's all they're getting, really. Like, their economy's
Yeah,
still
no, it's
somewhat
that
stable,
debt.
isn't it?
It's not really.
It's not as bad as Greece's.
Yeah, but it's still bad. Still exceptional.
Didn't we have an idea of buying Greece?
I mean, we could afford it.
What?
No, I swear we
No,
had an
I think it
idea
was.
that
I
we
think it was
basically...
Elon Musk wanted to buy Greece to pay off
Basically,
debt.
we had an idea that we would basically, if we left the EU, we would just stop buying out the EU.
You know that's like really frowned upon, Ben, because that is actually colonial oppression. Well, that's
Anyway.
pretty bad. Like, it'd be
I'm just
different.
remembering shit.
So if Greece was like came to us and said, "Oh, you know, we'll integrate with you if you buy us out of our debt," that's different. That's them wanting to join us. We can't just go to Greece and say, "Yo, here's like a big fat stack of money. Join us, bitch." Because that's a bit antagonistic.
We'll just go to them politely and say, hey, we can help you out if you wish.
That's still antagonistic.
We're not being antagonistic.
We
we're
kind of
saying
are,
we
but
can help you
it's
if you like.
the implication that if you don't, your economy's fucked. I mean, their economy is fucked anyway, but that's not the point. But essentially, right, the world's fucked if we don't get a deal in Brexit.
So the world is dependent on Eurovision then?
Eh?
The whole point in Eurovision is just a political argument, basically.
No, the whole point of Eurovision is
No.
to put aside political differences.
I mean, there's a lot of
No.
politics involved with Eurovision.
So if you
Right. Don't worry about it.
If you notice, the fact that we hardly ever get votes because we always make piss off all the other countries.
We don't piss off other countries, it's to do with what we've done in the past.
Exactly.
It's more of a case of, we're never going to get votes from Russia, because Russia hates us, because we allow all their, like, you know, ex-spies to just lay in our country and not have an issue with it. That's actually one of the reasons they hate us. That's why they keep coming over and killing them. Hence, you know, last week's episode that we totally stayed on topic for. We're never really going to get any votes from, like, the former Soviet countries, just based on the Cold War. That's about it, from what I'm gathering, really. We're not likely to get any from Ireland, because Ireland hates us. Or doesn't hate us per se, but, like, likes other countries more. We're never going to get it from Greece unless we give them money. And, you know, essentially it's not a case of that we've pissed other countries off, it's a case of we don't help them out.
Oh, I keep forgetting the name of it. What was it? What's it called? What's the thing that we used to have with? Well, I want to say Australia.
What do you mean?
We used to own Australia, didn't we?
We
What was the
still own
thing?
Australia.
Yeah, I know, but what's it called? What we're currently, that whole thing. It's not Europe. That isn't Europe. It's basically
the
Europe, but it's
Yeah,
Commonwealth. There we go.
yeah, we still have the Commonwealth.
So what we do is make the Commonwealth the Eurovision.
We kind of already have that. It's called the
What?
Commonwealth Games. I think singing's
No.
actually a thing in the Commonwealth Games.
Is it?
I think so.
No, I don't think singing's part of Commonwealth.
Let's
Games.
find out. We've got a Google section.
Another Eurovision in the world.
Why not?
seriously suggest, you know, if one shit show of a singing contest not enough.
Oh,
The Commonwealth
no.
Games, right, okay.
Singing contest.
No, 3, yeah. Because you're not counting X Factor and American Idol.
Yeah, but still, the world needs less singing contests.
Commonwealth Games,
not
games?
American Idol. Voice. 'cause
Right, I'll
the
come
Voice
back
is
to it when I
basically
find the list. I'm sure there's a list somewhere, right, okay. So we've got Commonwealth Games here, let's have a look.
Mm-hmm.
So... Oh, apparently there's like winter games and youth games and whatnot. There's actually quite a few. But, yeah, so you want the Commonwealth Singing Contest?
Yes. And include any country that was part of the Commonwealth.
Oh my god, India is still allowed in the Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, because these are part of the
No,
Commonwealth.
as in, it's supposed to be things that are still in our Commonwealth. But no, apparently we just let India in.
Part of the Commonwealth.
I thought we gave them, like, full autonomy.
Even though the Commonwealth, most countries in the Commonwealth have full autonomy.
Apparently Australia is, like, the overall winner. Followed by
Yeah,
us
because
and then
everyone
Canada.
loves Australia, despite them being upside down.
No, as in, like, gold, silver, and whatnot. They have, like, 300 points on us.
I thought we were winning Commonwealth.
Okay, so here we
Well,
go.
very
So
well.
in the Commonwealth Games, we currently have athletics, para-athletics, badminton, boxing, cycling on mountain bikes, cycling on paratrack, cycling on road, cycling on track, diving, hockey, gymnastics, arithmetics, whatever the hell, arithmetics even. So there's artistics and arithmetics. I don't know what that means, like the difference. We have lawn
Gymnastics
bowls.
is like pole vault and
We
stuff,
have
and-
para-lawn bowls, netball for women, powerlifting, rugby sevens. We have squash, swimming, para-swimming, table tennis, para-table tennis, the triathlon, weightlifting, and freestyle wrestling. Apparently, wheelchair basketball is an optional sport, but no one has ever taken part in it. But it is listed as a thing that can be played. So there's a lot of things that have been listed as games that are played, if that makes sense. But then there's wheelchair basketball. It's like you can play this if you want, but this has never been played. And then let's have a look. So I'm looking to see if it is actually just games. Then that's fine.
Imagine card games being part of the Commonwealth Games.
You know, you laugh, but you can actually go and compete in the esports Olympics in the Commonwealth. Not in the Commonwealth, in China.
No. I mean in the Olympics and the Commonwealth.
No, they're wanting to have an esports Olympics. The Olympics Commission is
No,
wanting to have an
not
esports
their
Olympics.
own Olympics. I mean, as in the actual Olympics.
Yeah, you will be able to. It's kind of the thing. It's kind of the point.
Just imagine them just walking around on that flag show. All these fitter people, and then just the esports section.
But no, singing is not part of the Commonwealth Games. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we had it. Fucking maths used to be part of the Olympics.
It's just a special version of Countdown in the Olympics.
Basically, but way back when, ancient Olympics, not modern day.
Yeah, we should totally have it modern day.
No, play. I think playing in a theatre was part of the original Olympics as well. There's some really weird
Poetry
sports.
was as well, I think.
You what?
Poetry was as well, I think.
Yeah, poetry was.
I want to see poetry.
Ancient Olympics were weird.
The ancient Greek Olympics.
They were more of a test of
There was
strength as well as knowledge, weren't they? Brains and brawn.
Yeah, I mean there were a lot of big theatrical competitions that weren't part of the Olympics, especially in Athens.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Ryan is our historian at this point.
Yeah, I did
Alright.
A-level ancient history, so.
For some reason, he thought that was a good idea instead of dying of boredom.
So
Hey,
if
it was
the Olympics now would be like the Olympics back then, we would have boxing chess in the Olympics.
Yeah, sure. Chess boxing. It's a thing.
Chess boxing.
And I don't even. I am 1/100th qualified for it. Apparently, I am 1% qualified to do it. But I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing that in the actual Olympics. I just don't think it's going to be interesting to watch unless you like the sport. That's the only problem. But no, who knows what's actually going to happen with Europe?
Chess boxing, cross-country poker.
Cross-country poker.
Anything else?
That's not a
No,
thing.
you want extreme ironing?
That is a thing, though, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't know how it works, but I know it is a thing.
Isn't it like underwater ironing or something stupid?
I don't know. There's extreme golf as well, but that is genuinely fun if you enjoy an adventure. Cause you go to golf courses that are in really dangerous places. There was one that was in Helmand's province, and there was one that's in the Antarctic. And you play golf on them. I had a book for it.
Yeah, there's a golf hole in the DMZ there used to be.
Yeah. People genuinely play golf in stupid places. Back when I used to be in a golf club, I had a book on extreme golf. Yeah, I used to learn to play golf. I had golf lessons every week. That's a thing I used to do. I'm terrible at it. I'm legitimately one of the worst golfers you will ever see. But I do have a set of clubs, so I don't know. But no. What will happen with Eurovision actually? Because we're only a core member now because we're a core member of the European Council.
Yeah, but aren't parts of the Eurovision not even in Europe anyway?
Yeah, but the part of they're in it through the Commonwealth, through us.
Yeah, so basically half the Eurovision.
Except I don't know how Israel is in it. But
Exactly.
Yeah, no, because like the Eurovision is completely separate to the EU and generally isn't Europe anymore. Again, like Israel, isn't it?
I think America
like I
was
know
suggested being
Australia
in
was
it at some
allowed
point.
in through like their Commonwealth alignment with us. I don't know
think
how it is. I think Israel has something to do with Russia, isn't it? Like, that's how they got in.
I think at this point Eurovision is just the name of it rather than rather than the rule of who can be in it.
Also, if you ever like want a mental breakdown, check the rules of how to of like songs that are allowed in the Eurovision Song Contest. There is absolutely no creative freedom. That's why all the songs sound the same. Like genuinely, if
I
you want
mean,
creative freedom, your best bet is to go for heavy metal.
gonna say, I mean, there was
That's Swedish.
Finland win that
Yeah.
Finland,
time
that was it. Yeah, sorry.
with Lordi.
Because the idea with heavy metal is, it's so heavy you can swear, and no one's gonna notice. But no, like, there's some genuinely massive restrictions on what you're allowed to play. Like, you're not allowed to play any instruments live.
Wait,
Yeah, so every time you see instruments,
they're not played.
they're not being played.
Hmm.
Which adds extra complications when drum sets are on stage. But no, that's all an act.
Well, I think isn't it mostly lip syncing.
You're allowed to lip sync. But yeah.
No, well, in case of, you had to lip sync.
It's fucking ridiculous. Like, essentially, it's a performance. It's not even like a piece of. Oh, it's not allowed to be political. Like at all.
I mean, it's not allowed to be political when all the votes are political.
Yeah, but that's the point.
Yeah, so therefore, any vote that's been made in a political connotation should be null and void.
Well, no, because there's no because you have two different types of votes.
Yeah.
You have the Academy of Music's votes from each country, and then you have the public vote. And no country has ever won on like either side alone. Like the public's vote's worth more.
No, yeah, I know.
So it's not all political. Like if it were all political, Israel wouldn't have won last year. Because like I think they were third before public vote, and then public vote just pushed them to the top. But no, Israel's song's basically Me Too. Like that's their song is like a song about the Me Too campaign, but it's not allowed to be political. You know what I mean? Like the rules get bent a fair bit, but like,
Well, you know what they say.
better to be bent than broken.
Made to be broken.
But no, yeah, check the Eurovision rules out. Like, just fucking hell, they're mental. There was a guy who did a video on it, but his video got copyright strike by the EU, by the Eurovision Song Contest.
Your mic kind of went horrible
Oh, I'm sorry. There was a guy who did a video on it on YouTube, but the video got copyright struck by the Eurovision Song Contest Commission, and he had to remove it. Which is a bit shit, really. If I remember, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. Operative word being, if I remember.
That's similar to that YouTube thing. Similar to, is it Nintendo or something? That if you do anything video with Nintendo, they'll take all the credit for it,
Yeah, basically.
despite you doing most of the work.
You're allowed to have, like, you can get, like, deals and stuff with Nintendo. But they take, like, a 60% cut. And you've got to have a Nintendo exclusive channel. Honestly, Nintendo's approach to marketing is barbaric and ancient. So wonder there's still a company that shit, I just caught myself. That they're a company that's still allowed to operate. If I start bleeding out, don't worry. Like, I did just slice into my finger. Like, you know the joints between your fingers. I just sliced into the fleshy bit there. Nice.
Oh yeah, the bit that won't heal for quite a while.
Yeah. I mean, blood's like basically bloody fucking sludge at this
Yeah,
point.
blood is bloody. Yeah.
No, my blood's basically sludge at this point. Like, there's no blood coming out of it, but I can definitely see that it's been cut. Ah, fucking hell. So will we still be a core member of the Eurovision Song Contest after Brexit?
Well, yeah, because they'll always not want to vote for us.
No, as in, no, I mean a core member. As in, we won't have to
'cause-
audition.
Well, yeah, because we were there from the beginning, so it's not a EU thing,
No, but that's
and we are technically Europe because we're in that section. I don't know.
No, Ben. There are a set of countries
Mm,
that don't have to audition and just go through to the grand final.
mm.
We're one of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's not founding members because Spain isn't one, and Spain's a founding member. Also, you know we've won the Eurovision Song Contest one of the most amount of times of any country.
Well, every time I've watched it, we've not won, and it's mostly been because the votes have been skewed to different countries.
Yeah, but we're still one of the most successful countries in the Eurovision.
How many years has it been since we've won?
I think 96 was our last win.
Exactly.
So 21 year.
So basically as bad as the World Cup.
Yeah, but considering no, it's worse. The World Cup's worse. Yeah, I think 96 was our last Eurovision win. 1 minute.
Exactly. It's not even
UK Eurovision winners. We won last in 2003, actually. Oh no, there are worse results actually. 2003, 2008, and 2010. We got 0 points in 2003, by the way. We've won. Our last win was 1997, I think, by the looks of that. Yeah, 1997 we won. But we have 5 wins.
Yeah, but that was back when, right?
Well, it took
so
us
then you
10 years to win
yes,
one.
But
The first one.
right. You then have to look at the number of countries that are now allowed in the European Song Contest from when it was started, and then look at the wins from then.
Yeah, no, we've been in every Eurovision Song Contest.
Yeah, but the wins go, the points go down as there's more countries.
No, we haven't been in it for everyone. We participated in the second Eurovision Song Contest, apparently. So yeah. Will we have to audition? That's all I want to know.
I'm not really bothered.
I am bothered, because if we're never ever going to be in the grand final again. If that's the case, genuinely, we are not going to be in the grand final if we have to audition again.
Yeah, so therefore we make our own.
Well, the Commonwealth Song Contest.
Yeah.
Commovision Song Contest. Because that doesn't promote colonialism at all. Oh, dear God.
I just lost my headset. Yeah, so you see, it's already created its own logo. You just have comma song contest.
Well, like the punctuation comma.
Yeah.
Should we get back to politics? Because the next thing we have on our list of, well, I say list, but like the semi-list, is the Liberal Democrats.
Do they still exist?
What's your opinion on the Liberal Democrats then, Ben? Assuming they still exist.
Well, considering I don't really pay attention to any group that's bigger than
Ben, do you
the
vote?
top 3. Yes, I do.
Okay, that's fine. I may have had to kick you from the Discord.
I do vote
That's
because
fine.
people that don't vote can't moan.
There we go. That's fine. That's an acceptable reason to vote. So you only know of the top three. What are the top three?
I'm aware of the top three,
What are the
but
top
to be
three?
fair, the Lib Dems probably aren't the top three in the top three now, but
Definitely not.
the top two are fucking obvious. But I don't. What is this third one at the minute?
It depends what you're talking about. If how you're defining size. If you're defining
Number
size by
of seats, I'm
number
assuming.
of seats in Parliament, I believe it is
Let's find out.
SNP. It's the SNP. They're the third
Oh,
largest
yeah.
party in the UK.
There you go.
Hmm.
Then is the Lib Dems.
There we go. Actually, we have a complete breakdown, courtesy of
Well, I wouldn't vote
Wikipedia.
for SMP.
You can't.
Exactly.
Even though
Yeah,
they're
I
still
don't-
the third biggest party in the UK, because they're still a UK party.
Yeah, but you can't vote, so they're not a UK party.
In
They're actually not that. They don't actually have that many more seats. Like, they have like twice as many seats as Lib Dems. What the hell is independent Labour?
Probably a better Labour, to be honest.
How many seats do they have? So it might be Irish Labour.
One. Let's find out. 1 minute. Actually, they've got a.
You know,
Is a non. 1 minute. Just saying an independent is a non-partisan. I know that, you fucking tit. Great, so it doesn't actually tell me what independent Labour is. Nice.
I think it might be Irish Labour then. You know, the Northern Irish Labour Party.
Yeah. Are they not just part of Labour?
No, part of the Good Friday Agreement is that the parties don't have, you know, well, because of how the Irish MPs they get elected under a different system, so
Do they?
technically it's part of
No.
the Good Friday Agreement, so they have to be part of
Independent Labour Party. Something to do when the Liberals appeared reluctant to endorse the working class. Or something, apparently.
So it's probably just a Labour MP that's fractured off then, right?
The political left established in 1893.
Wow. So when you said
Independent
Liberals, you mean the Liberal Party?
Mm.
Fucking hell. For those who don't know, they're the guys who basically started the NHS before the NHS was a thing. And also gave women the vote. If my memory of modern history is right. Or was it the Conservatives that gave women the vote?
I'm trying to think who was actually in power. I think it might have been Labour, because I don't think the Liberal Party
It wasn't
ever
Labour. It's definitely not Labour.
Might have been the Liberal Party then.
Because Labour have one of the worst track records for giving social liberties out.
LMP was founded in 1893 on the initiative of the initiative of local socialists, sorry. Mainly from Scotland and north of England, and encouraged by such national figures as Keir Hardie,
Yeah.
editor of the Labour Leader, and
Oh,
Robert Batchford.
so yes, no, they're a sub-faction of the Labour then, yes, so it'll be a bit like the Cooperative Party.
There's a cooperative. Fucking hell.
Yeah, the Co-op Party is...
America, where you learn how to do politics right. You know, you want to be in such. You want to be so confused by your MPs that you actually don't know. You actually have to Google who the hell this party is.
Yep.
My God.
The Co-op Party, they're, you know, obviously we're part of the cooperative.
Yeah, they were part of the cooperative initiative, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they were like
You know,
county
they are
dependent.
affiliated with the Labour Party.
Yeah, I would imagine they are. In some way, at least. Considering wasn't it Labour that started the cooperative initiative?
Possibly.
But yeah, like, so the Lib Dems seem to be running their entire campaign, because they're running a campaign at the moment, on having a second referendum. Can we just like point this out? There's not going to be another general election until after Brexit. So why are they running with like the idea of, oh, we should have a second referendum? You know what I mean, like,
Because they
think
hope
it'll
to
make
get the
them
votes of
popular.
the people that don't like the fact that we're
Yeah,
leaving.
they think it'll make them popular again.
but it's making them really, really unpopular.
Yeah, but this is the Lib Dems, bear in mind, so were you that surprised that they're this out of touch?
It's like when I went to the Lake District, right? So Cumbria is a really heavy Tory section, right? They were protesting there. Like they had like a stand. This was during the general election cycle, right? Basically, their entire campaign for the last general election was let's have a second referendum. They realised, surely, they must have realised that that didn't work. So let's just elect a new leader and say we want a second referendum.
No, but as far as they're concerned, the only reason they lost is because, what's his fate? You know, they put the blame on their loss to Thingy being an evangelical Christian.
But that's not true.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not the main reason.
Sure, it might have like lost them a couple votes. I would be surprised if it didn't. But like, I think most people were willing to look past the fact that he's an evangelical Christian, because his voting record doesn't suggest that. You know what I mean? Like, he's openly said that he's against like gay marriage and whatnot, but he's voted for it because his party has voted for that. The Lib Dems are like, they're the annoying child in the back room, aren't they? They keep droning on about the same shit, right? And think it's going to change. They're losing seats in Parliament every election cycle. Like, the re-election, like the one where it was like Cameron versus Miliband, I could understand them losing seats, right? Because Cameron made them look like one of the worst parties on the planet. Because he made them basically look like they did nothing. So that's fine. I could understand them losing seats then. But these last two, no reason.
Probably more lost due to strategic voting because the big two parties were Labour and Conservatives. People more likely to vote for them for the sort of voting because you don't want the other party to win, not because you're voting for representation.
But the idea of an MP is meant to be that you vote for representation.
Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, our current system means that most MPs generally, their representation is their party.
The
Not...
problem is first past the post is designed for two parties, so it doesn't work for multiple parties like we have.
So why don't we go to alternative?
We tried that and it was voted down by people because everyone in government said no, we don't want that because it makes it hard for us to get in.
But it's
Because
inherently better.
Because we're going to say all the MPs voted against, well, you know, the main MP, like the main campaign...
Well, they put it to a referendum, right?
Yeah, it was put to a referendum, but the main campaign that existed was purposely to make it out to not make sense.
But it's inherently better.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, the end of the day, we don't.
Like the
alternative vote, we
Conservative
want-
Party use alternative vote.
Yeah, I mean, at
Like,
the end
to
of the day,
elect their
what
leader.
we don't want. What we want is not alternative vote, but proportional representation. But of course, that hurts Labour, Tories, and the Lib Dems like phenomenally.
But who the fuck cares who it hurts if it's going to improve the country?
Yeah, I know, but of course, there's the thing: who's in charge of getting us who's in charge of actually bringing about a change in voting system? It's the MPs who are all
Not willing to let go of their seats.
they're all part of parties that, yeah, basically.
Fucking stupid.
So the chance of actually having any kind of electoral reform is incredibly slim.
It might happen one day. Or, like, you know. Oh, our party's doing terribly. Maybe alternative vote helps.
It doesn't help smaller parties like Green Party and that.
Yeah.
The Green Party are the only people in Parliament really that want PR.
Yeah, because for me, if I had alternative vote, it'd be Conservative first, unless they did something stupid. Then it'd be like an independent party. And then, like, way down at the bottom, it'd be Labour. Unless Labour did something nice.
No, Labour would still be probably the largest party. Well, they would be the largest party under PR. The Tories would be the most hurt by it.
I don't think so.
No, because how Tories get their seats, like most Conservative stronghold seats at the moment, are very small seats. Population-wise, they're small.
Right, so how does that hurt them?
Because if we have PR, then, on a national level, especially national PR,
Right.
well, because they're getting...
We're not talking about PR, we're talking about alternative vote. PR is never, ever going to get into power. Like, no one is ever going to bother.
Didn't hear you switch over to AV.
Yeah, went AV. No, we'll never go proportional, right?
Yeah, I know, that, because I was saying...
Because that makes sense.
Yeah, but,
To be fair, we kind of can't go for proportional anyway, just based on how our MP system works. We'd have to have an entirely restructured electoral system.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the thing, like, we need electoral reform, but we're never going to get it.
I mean, I'm quite happy having an MP. Like, I like the idea of having an MP and then him voting on my behalf. Or her. Quite, in fact, it is a her right now, isn't it? It's Lincoln. I quite like that system. Because my logic is, if I don't vote for them, I can still ask for their help. And they don't know that I've not voted for them. So they're still willing to help. But, I don't know, proportional... It'd hurt too many parties. They're not going to go with it because it'll hurt too many parties. It'll make it even harder for them to get into power. But I don't know.
Like, it would help out small parties because it would encourage people to vote for them.
Genuinely think we'd wind up with a Green MP if that were the case, though.
I mean, we have one Green MP. But
No, I mean, sorry, Green PM even.
I don't think we'd probably get a Prime Minister.
I don't know. I think you'd have a Green coalition. I think it'd be a Green Labour coalition.
Labour Green would possibly be quite a strong thing. But yeah, no, but then you got to bear in mind Labour would probably lose a lot of seats under PR because people would likely go, well, I mean, maybe not anymore, because political climate's changed so much over the last few years. But, back when we had the AV referendum anyway, if there was a PR thing there and it went through, then obviously that was at the peak of Labour's unpopularity. But yeah, no, it's an awkward one.
I think we're going to stick in with first past the post for a while. AV... No, AP is quite likely, just not in the short term. I don't think proportional's going to get in. Unless we have a massive shift in political climate.
We will not get proportional representation.
Unless we have a massive shift in political climate.
Well, even then, because of how any kind of electoral reform would have to go through, it would have to go through Parliament, and Parliament would not allow it to go through.
I think it'd be more likely to get a single transferable vote than MP.
Yeah, single transferable.
That could be good.
Thing, but then again, it's not going to be a long time till we get any kind of electoral reform anyway, because
single transferable is the one where I can say to you, "Hey Adam, have my vote." I don't know who to vote for, right?
No, it's basically you have all the candidates. You then rank. You can put as many votes as you want. You can say, "I want A to be my first vote, B to have my second, C to have my third," and no one else gets any other votes. And then whenever no one meets the requirements for getting the vote, the person with the least votes, the people who vote for them go to their second votes. Then if no one's met the requirement, they go to the third votes of the people who. So let's say I voted for Green.
Yeah.
Green is a small.
The SU use.
Right. Okay. What, with a RON system as well?
Probably wouldn't have any kind of RON.
Completely what the SU uses. They use a sort of a bastardized version of it.
Why is it bastardized? I quite like the SU system. It works.
Yeah, but it's like taking up the core of it and then just took away some parts of it, which...
Admittedly, it does very much heavily lean towards the idea of one person running.
Yeah.
Because no one sees the point in running against someone when you're more likely to just vote, because you're not going to give a shit who you're voting for, really. Like, let's face it, when was the last time you read someone's manifesto when voting for someone? Or in the SU? It's whoever you either see first, or whoever you remember first. So it leads to people running unopposed. Do you think that might be an issue if we had it? If we had single transferable in the UK, like general? Like, because right now... Oh, I'm gonna make Cortana.
Here is what I found.
What the fuck? Fucking Cortana. It came with like a picture of the Rock or something, I think. Do you think because right now, like, you have certain places that have multiple people running under the same party, don't you? Or is that am I thinking local? Because I seem to remember, like, the last time I voted in like, at home, I had like 3 different Labour MPs.
Not in a general election, you won't.
Oh, no, I didn't. I voted for it was general and local at the same time. So I had 2 different ballot slips.
Yeah, that'll have been it.
We had that. I don't know. Do you think it'd like discourage independent parties from running?
What if we had electoral reform?
No, if we had like single transferable.
It would encourage.
Really?
Yeah, because people would likely put them as their first choice, like the independent that they most, independents that most go with them as their first choice.
It
and
heavily promotes a popularity contest.
Not really.
But also,
yes, but independents will likely be able to get the popularity that like the big parties can't actually get. Like small parties would likely get those first votes, but then a lot of the time they'd likely not still get in but transfer over. But they can be like, look how many first choice votes.
And then tell the parties what that area actually wants.
It would be a much stronger form of protest.
Yeah.
Because you can vote for them without actually wasting a vote. The thing is, a lot of independents under the current system obviously don't get many votes, if any, because most people think, well, if I vote for these, like,
Yeah, any
it's
independent
big,
MP
and
that we've got
then
is like an independent MP that's been running for years and years and has just
yeah,
built up that
'cause it's the
that
idea of
base.
it's the idea of, well, if I vote for this guy, and let's say there's a guy who's standing on extreme, on some
Yeah.
more left wing principles, and you think, okay, this guy's good, and he has those left wing principles, and I should support him. But at the same time, a lot of people would likely still go for Labour, and that means a vote not for Labour if I do this, which means the Tories could then get the advantage, and I don't want the Tories to come in, so I have to think tactically and then vote Labour. That's what we get under the current system.
Whereas with single
No,
transfer, where you'd stick
with
independent,
STV,
hard,
yeah,
like
with
left guy first,
STV, you could say, look, this is the guy that I want in, so he's my first choice.
but failing that, Labour.
But since I realise people probably won't vote for him, I will then have my vote be ready to transfer over to, again, let's say Labour, in the situation of this
Yeah.
party does not win enough votes. And then, I can still have my vote for Labour, but I've still made my protest case.
Yeah, it's a lot more work for vote counting, to be fair, but
I mean, like,
mind you, then again, you could just have a spreadsheet
yeah,
with
it
numbers in it.
I mean, there is the issue of when an election have too many candidates, because, like, this is one of the main, like, arguments against, like, extreme electoral reform is, if you look at what Australia's ballot slips are like,
I feel like they're
There's
just
too
like
many parties
a
with
scroll.
they are
scroll.
several meters long.
Wow. I'm gonna say the only requirement to be an MP is like a £200 fee, isn't it? And then that's
I think
it.
it's 500.
Is it 500 now? But then that's it,
Believe
isn't
so.
it? You just need a manifesto, and then that's it. And then you're an incorporated party.
I honestly don't know.
It's genuinely ridiculously easy to become to stand for an MP, to be an MP. It's just easier to join a party and do it that way.
Yeah, of course.
But no, it's like £500 to found a party.
Win off the party.
So what I'm going to do, right, is when I get older and whatnot, and have some disposable income, I'm just going to have like £500 and just create a party, and then do no advertisements and see how many votes I get.
I'm going to say, going on the assumption that we're not getting electoral reform, we're probably not getting any.
Yeah, this is where we get electoral reform. I do that, and like, shit, well, now I'm an MP.
It's pretty similar to tax without 2 consent as an MP.
What's this? There we go. So, just for those who actually give a shit, you must be 18 or over, a British citizen of... Oh, wait, really? That is insane. You don't
What?
actually have to be a British citizen to be a British MP. Okay. They must be nominated by 10 parliamentary electors of the constituency in which they wish to stand in. What? Wait, so do we actually have an electoral college then?
I don't know.
Or does that just mean you need to get like 10
10
sponsors,
people
basically?
are registered to vote in that
I
constituency.
think it's just 10 sponsors, I'm not sure.
Okay. You must be required to stand for a specific party, otherwise candidates will be described as independent or have no description. Right, okay. In order to encourage serious candidates to stand... Wow, serious? £500 is a serious amount of money, apparently. Is required to submit a nomination paper. Okay, returned if the candidate receives over 5% of the total votes. That is quite a nice system, actually. Huh.
So, is that last bit?
So, you got to pay a £500 deposit. But if you receive 5% or over 5%, over 5% of the total votes cast in your constituency, you get it back? So I thought it was just like £500, like, huh. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
no, thinking of it, yeah, that's the case.
So there you go. That's how you become an MP. Awesome. Let's just switch back to main. There we go. Yeah, should we all stand for an MP? Like, just become an MP. When loans come in, yeah? Well, it's totally not a waste of loans. It's like a month's rent for me, that. Fucking hell. Oh yeah, what else were we talking about? We were talking about the Lib Dems before we got onto this, didn't we? What do you think the Lib Dems should do to, like, become a relevant party again?
Support the games industry.
Support the games industry.
Mm-hmm.
How does that make them a relevant party?
Because games industry.
Because the games industry.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was this?
If you like, so let's say you become the leader of the Lib Dems, right? I
Mhm.
know it's blasphemy, but just hear me out. What do they need to do to become more relevant? Like, how do you make them more relevant? Or do you think the damage is already done?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I think they're gonna have, like, you know, a good 10 or so years of people still just associating them with
A failed,
yeah, with that
I don't know.
coalition, you know, and generally having them seen as people that don't really stand for anything at the end of the day. And I mean, the conference really doesn't do anything to help them out with that.
What did they actually say at the conference again? I remember skim reading it.
Well, they had one speaker that was talking about what was it? What was it? Oh yes, ending the fascism of the left and the right. It was really stupid.
That was it. I remember now. I remember you telling me. Oh, for fuck's sake. To be fair, I think I get what they mean. I don't think they mean fascism. And I don't think fascism was a good word choice, because that makes them seem stupid. But I think what they mean is extremists. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But basically, they just sound like an arsehole centralist.
Yeah, they were just going peak liberalism.
No, it's not liberalism, it's neoliberalism. It's totally. Wait, shit, that actually means something now, doesn't it?
Yep.
Never mind. Isn't that you are so free you have no rights, if I remember rightly? Like, neoliberalism is basically communism, isn't it? What I'm vaguely remembering of it.
No, like there's no. Oh my, like that.
Well, go on, explain it to me, because I just sort of put Neo in front of there,
Neoliberalism
because, like...
Margaret Thatcher is basically the best, like, example of neoliberalism in action. Just, yeah, look at the policies.
So authoritarian.
Yeah, basically,
AF.
you know, like, you know, essentially borderline with what ANCAPs want.
Right.
You know, and everyone loves ANCAPs, right?
Okay. So let's go for, instead of making it sound all official and whatnot, new liberalism. That's not a thing, right?
I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, new liberalism. It doesn't sound right, does it?
No.
Also, apparently my voice is a bit shit right now. I'm apparently like, there we go, we're connected properly again. I think this is going to hurt me in the long run. I think people are just going to see them as, like, the joke party. They're either going to see them as the party that did nothing in a coalition. They're going to see them as the party that likes to pretend to keep all the other parties in check, but in reality have absolutely no power. Or they're going to see them as the party of people who don't know what the fuck they're doing because they don't understand politics.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Let's get on to another topic, the next topic. Theresa May today did a speech about Brexit, actually. Basically telling the EU to meet us halfway. Because apparently they haven't been giving enough respect, hence the reason I put the fucking, was it erasure quote in the thumbnail. Which I'm guessing everyone missed.
Yeah, I missed it.
Yay, of course. But yeah, so essentially she was like, Chequers plan is like, you know, a thing that we're you know, this is us trying to negotiate with you, and you're giving us no respect back. So, you know, to me, today, Theresa May actually stood up like a Prime Minister. And she didn't do the Tory power stance. She looked not like a robot.
Fucking hell, I'll have to look
I
at
know, right? She genuinely seemed calm, collected, and ready to fight. All I was thinking was, I would not want to fuck with that woman. And you know who agreed with me?
it. Who?
That guy who's doing the fucking negotiations for the EU side, not Juncker, the other one. God, what's his name? Let me, one minute. I forgot what his name is. Fuck. What's his name? You know who I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't think of his name.
Basically, it said, yeah, Chequers' plan was a step in the right direction. Yeah, boys. So yeah, I think the EU's actually terrified of the UK now.
Yeah, because it says the Guardian says that PM gives combative speech after rejection of Chequers' plan.
Yeah, I think that's actually pretty valid for once from the Guardian.
Stroking no deal fears.
Yeah, no, she essentially said we are not afraid of doing no deal. And if we get a bad deal, we're doing no deal.
Theresa May has accused the European Union of not treating the UK with respect in a deliberately combative address that prompted a sharp fall in the pound.
Yeah, it did.
That it had not had a no deal Brexit, more likely.
Yeah, we are still worth more than the euro and the dollar, but yeah, it did have a sharp drop.
It's the Chinese yuan that you need to watch because that's going up.
Right.
As in, last year it was 12 for every pound it was 12 yen. This year it's 7 yen for every pound.
Yeah, but isn't it backed by the dollar? Because most currencies are.
Yeah, no, but basically.
So surely our only thing we should really care about is like to the dollar.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, the translation rate to even from even dollar to yen then as well is going. There's getting less and less gap basically. So China's getting better basically. Or we're all going down south.
To be honest, I actually think the UK economy is doing okay.
Yeah.
Right now. Come March, I don't think we're going to do okay. But I think right now we're doing okay. I don't know though. It's a case of she genuinely to me today sounded like a prime minister. She sounded like the woman I voted for. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. The sterling to dollar fell by 1.5 just
Fucking
by her saying
hell.
that. Biggest one-day drops this year.
Yeah, that's not 1.5% isn't insignificant.
Oh, could have been worse.
Not by much, Ben.
I know, but I just mean it could have been
That's
worse.
actually really bad. I don't know. Maybe it's worth the risk. I'm willing to admit it, to believe it's worth the risk.
To be fair, if I was in her shoes, I'd be pissed off at the EU.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
The shit.
At least she's got the balls to confront them. You know what I mean? Like, it's just Brexit is going like to hell in a handbasket pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah, but it's not all our fault.
No, it's mostly the
It's-
EU's fault because, like Ryan said earlier, they can't let this be a good break. Because if this is a good break, the EU is dead. Without question, the EU is dead.
Well, they've got two ways of doing it. Either they keep doing what they're doing and basically piss everything up, or they embrace it and attempt to make a new version of the Europe from what would end eventually happen.
What I think Britain should do, though, is just when we leave the EU, like the day after, announce we're starting like the Commonwealth Alliance.
Yeah,
Just to piss everyone off.
I not on this obviously, but I had said that it would be funny, like you say, if we decided, fuck it, we're gonna recreate.
We're gonna make our own.
Commonwealth better.
We're gonna make our own EU.
We're gonna make our
Better.
own
Blackjack
bullshit.
and hookers.
And basically contact everyone that we used to control and go, hey.
So you know all that shit they did wrong, like, you know, one currency, backing each other up financially, and just generally having like a weird relationship with trade. Yeah, we're gonna remove all that shit.
You can trade.
Nothing's gonna change
We're
between
not
us.
bothered.
Nothing's gonna change between us, like relationship-wise. But we're just now in a thing called like the Commonwealth Alliance.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's do that.
I don't see what's wrong with that.
There's literally nothing wrong with it. I mean, there probably is, but that's not the point.
You could like implement a few little like regulations on certain things, but not really that important.
I mean, the freer the trade, the freer the people, Ben.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, in the sense of like
The fact that you're agreeing with what
ethical,
Kyle just said
like
concerns me, Ben.
Why? The freer the trade, the freer the people.
no, as in like where the say if we were trading wood or something, where that would have come from.
Yeah, but in my opinion, the market would decide that that's bad wood and that business would go bust.
Well, yeah, true. There's always going to be something that.
True capitalism is amazing. Doesn't work, but it's amazing. The problem is, I don't know. I think we should do that just to spite them. To be fair, like we can't join the EU now, or we got our own EU.
Tusk has apparently
That was
denied
it. It was
May's
Tusk.
claims that the EU had failed to explain its position in British negotiators.
I mean, Tusk, you're a
Though
lying arsehole.
he insists that a compromise good for all is still possible.
But they're not willing to compromise.
I know.
They have done nothing but reject our ideas. They've given no meaningful explanation as to why their ideas are, you know, our ideas are shit.
Despite the heated rhetoric and plunge in sterling, EU officials are understood to be working on a counter proposal to the Chequers plan, which is likely to appear early
Holy
October,
shit!
so
Hallelujah! They're doing work!
after Conservative Party conference and a week before a make or break Brexit summit in Brussels. Yeah.
They're doing work!
Yeah, but it'll be something that is highly beneficial to them and not very beneficial to us.
Yeah, but that's at least something they've put forward, Ben.
Yeah, but they keep doing that though. We propose
They
something.
don't, though,
and
Ben.
they-
That's the thing. They haven't put forward a counter proposal.
Yeah, but why would we accept a counter proposal that's basically us being in the EU but worse?
You wouldn't. But that's the point. They put a counter proposal forward, and you put a counter proposal forward, and then eventually you get to a middle ground. It's basic negotiation. Something in which the EU seems to fail on. To be fair, something in which the US and the UK seem to fail on as well, but that's not the point.
Yeah, but that's a totally different story, isn't it?
Yeah, we're not talking about Donald Trump this week. He's not done anything crazy. Or has he? It's just not been in the news because everything else has been crazy with Brexit. But let's get to UKIP because I had their party conference this week. Essentially, UKIP still think they're relevant too, which is quite cute if you think about it. Because they have like 1/12 of the seats of the Lib Dems.
Yeah, I find them amusing.
But their campaign this next time round is going to be backed with right-wing YouTubers, or so-called right-wing YouTubers. Like, I don't really know if Dankula counts as a right-wing YouTuber, but
I mean, that would be
maybe.
interesting.
But no, they are like proper members of it, and they're like standing with them, and they're going to the party conferences and shit. But no, they're being backed by Infowars' Paul Joseph Watson, Count Dankula, I believe. Is it Lawrence Southern's also like a member of them or some shit? I'm not entirely sure. But basically, there's a lot of like right-wing YouTubers that are now part of UKIP. Which, I'm not gonna lie, doesn't really bode well for UKIP. Whether you agree with them politically or not, like these YouTubers, people disagree with them vehemently. So it's, all in all, it's gonna hurt them. But they've also, the leader of UKIP this week has put a link between women, like, girl grooming gangs and Islam. So that's the first time it's been said by a party leader, I think. I think me and Ryan were discussing this earlier. Like, I said, you know, it's a thing that they definitely do. But I don't think they're the only people who do it. And I think it'd be stupid to think that they'd be the only people that do it. But no, it's at least nice, in my opinion, that he's saying something about it. You know what I mean? Like, what about you guys? What do you think? Or are you, like, treading on the landmine here?
Sorry, I actually missed half that. I was zoned out doing something else.
Oh, minute, let me guess. What is it? That is it not Sins of the Solar Empire? The one that you keep plugging.
Oh, well, I mean, if you click on my name on Discord right now...
Oh my god, are you actually playing... Oh my god, he is. He's playing Divinity Sin. Original Sin.
For fuck's sake, not that again.
Hey, I didn't
I
say
thought I was
anything,
bad
guys.
looking at D&D
I've been playing it
stuff.
all this time, to be fair. I've just been playing it in the background.
I can't find the one I was looking for. Where is it?
This is Ryan. He is obsessed with this game.
Anyway, sorry, yeah, no, I zoned out on that last bit. What were you on about?
He has put a link between Islamic groups and Islam and like child grooming gangs.
Who has?
The leader of UKIP. Like,
So he's...
he says there's a link between child grooming gangs and Israel. Not Israel, fucking
an
Islam.
So what you're saying is that those Catholic priest pedo rings back in the day were linked to Islam.
It's not just the
Rob
Catholic
Harris.
pedo rings. There are actually
Parliament-
links between like.
The
But no, I'm with you. I get what you're
pedo
saying.
Ring is linked to Islam, is it? Rolf Harris and what's his name?
Savile, mate.
Jimmy Savile. Were they actually just Islamists or something? Like,
Obviously,
You
right?
just-
That's totally it. You know what I mean?
like, what is it with fucking right wing crazy anti pedo that? Like,
I mean, to be fair, they
quotation
do
mark,
also like like
oh, no,
there are
it's
groups in Islam that do like groom small girls.
There are, but
But there are also
some
groups in
others.
other religions that do the same thing.
It's almost as if
It's just
it's
religion.
actually something else that's part of a thing, and not, religion itself.
Or you think it's just a bunch of fucked up people?
Yeah, it's twats being twats.
Yeah, it usually is.
Yeah. I don't know. Is the first leader of a party to say it, I think. No, he's not. The leader of the BNP did, like, a while back. When they were still a thing. But no, I genuinely don't know how I feel about this. Him saying it, because, like, on the one hand he's right, but on the other hand, so are you. It's just twats being twats. It doesn't necessarily have a link to religion. Like, there are parts of, like, the religious texts that say it's okay, but same with the Bible. And the fact of the matter is, the average Muslim wasn't...
If you want to be, like, completely to the word of the Bible, then
You're insane.
Any kind of women's liberation.
Exactly.
Because, you can't go around saying, "Oh yeah, like, those Islamists don't treat women right, and they hate women's rights." Then also say, "Oh yeah, we need to obey the Bible to the word because."
I know, right?
Which is what a lot of them do. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just so ultra Christian guy."
Less so in the UK though, more so in the US.
I mean, they still get people like that in the UK. It's like a lot of
Oh yeah,
people
no,
like Britain
yeah.
First, for example. They were.
Wait, were they a
"Oh,
Christian
yeah,
front?
No, basically, yeah. They use Christianity as
I
their
did not know
justifier.
that.
And of course, we've seen more than a few in the city where we live of just a militant Christian preachers.
Yeah, but they aren't opposed to Islam
Yeah, no, I'm just
specifically.
saying,
They're opposed to everyone.
No, I'm just saying, we do have a thing of like just
Militant Christians, yeah.
militant evangelical fuckers.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, it's like what you say. If you're gonna follow a religious text to, like, the letter, then you fucked up. But it's not specifically like Islam that has it. Like, so does Christianity.
Yeah.
But you don't see a bunch of... Well, actually you do, but that's not the point.
I'm gonna say, like,
I was about to say you don't see Christians running around, but you do. That's the thing. So my stance is it's just fucking religion.
I mean, it's mostly the free speech brigade people and the anti-pedo brigade people, where, it's like, oh yeah,
Thanks for throwing the free speech brigade under the bus, Ryan.
Well, most of them are like that, though.
Yeah, but Ryan, I am very much pro free speech, and I'm not like that.
Yes, no, but the people that you know who I mean.
Like the Paul Joseph Watson types.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll just say, they'll use free speech as a justifier for everything, even though basically what, and then they'll be the same people to then be saying, oh yeah, no, you can't be saying that, oh no, you can't have Islam in a Christian society because they don't respect free speech and we shouldn't allow them to speak here.
I mean, we're an atheist society, but that's not the point.
Well, yeah, no, but it's like, hang on a minute. So, whenever someone, like, says something you don't agree with, it's an attack on your free speech and not them going with their own.
But you're okay to attack their beliefs.
But as soon as you start saying, oh yeah, all Islam, like any all Muslims are pedos or whatever it is they come out with these days,
Well, it's
then,
Hollywood in the 40s and 50s all over again, isn't it?
Like, yeah, but that's you can say it's like and then someone says, yeah, no, that's absolute bullshit, and they're like, yeah, but it's my freedom of speech to be able to say this. It's like, what the thing is, it's like, freedom is, again, of course, you'd be mad if you don't support freedom of speech, but
yeah,
you can't just have the freedom to, like, incite hate,
Oh no, I think you should. I just think you shouldn't be free from social justice if that's the case.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there you go.
I don't necessarily mean, like, judicial justice. I mean, like, you should be ousted from society if you incite hate. Because I think for the most part, if you're gonna just, like, be a dick to people, people aren't gonna want to be around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you should be allowed to say what the fuck you want, but, like, people's opinion still matters.
Yeah, at the same time, there is the issue of, people do believe this shit. Because,
What, they
say for
believe
the
that they should
customer,
be allowed to say whatever the fuck they want and be, like, immune
no,
from judgment from everyone?
no, people believe the kind of bullshit that people come out with. I mean, just look at the fact that Britain at first,
Didn't
they
they
had
actually invade the
supporters.
house of a Muslim man, though?
Yeah, no, they fully invaded a mosque.
I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that on Facebook.
They did a mosque, like, they've done a couple of mosque invasions in their time before the leaders got banged up in
But they
prison.
were genuinely a terrorist cell.
Yeah, no, they were, but of course, people were like, oh, they're just like, they are the champions of freedom of speech, and people.
They're really not, though.
Oh yeah, no, I know
Like,
they're not.
you
But
can't
people
have,
believe
you can't
that-
say they're the champions of freedom of speech when they're not allowing people to freely express their religion.
Yeah, no, but again, that's the thing that people did. People do believe inside with them, so. And it creates kind of a cult mentality of, we are right and you are wrong, and no matter what you say,
Yeah.
I know, but I'm right, so therefore I don't need to listen to you. It's that kind of mentality that a lot of these people have, which is where the issues really start to arise.
To be fair though, Ryan, I used to be the kind of person who would believe what Paul Joseph Watson said, and the type of person who would, like, believe what these far-right people believe. But then I was like, I'm just going to sit down and think about it, and, like, this doesn't make any sense, because that's
Yeah,
wrong,
I mean,
that's
a
wrong,
lot of
that's
people
wrong,
do
that's wrong, and there's
stop,
evidence just a mountain high to
a lot of
disprove
people
all
do
that.
just stop and think, hang on a minute, let's actually do some research on this. But a lot of people don't.
I think mine was just a case of I couldn't, I was sick of hating.
Yeah.
I was sick of being the angry man that just hated everything in the world, and I was like, I'm gonna, like, look for reasons to like these people and realise actually there's a fair bit. Like, it's like when you saw, like, the Manchester bombing, right? Everyone, like, from the far right were like, oh my god, them filthy Muslims blowing up them kids and whatnot, yeah? And then you also saw on the same night Muslims bringing people into their homes and, like, I'll stick the kettle on, let's just make sure you're alright.
They were trying to use it to fuel their thing. It's like they always do. They'll use anything to fuel their own agenda.
It's like there's always going to be dicks around. There's always going to be dicks who are going to do it for a political cause. I admit there are a lot of things in Islamic texts that are ridiculously violent, but there are also even more Muslims who don't follow it to the T.
Again, it's a situation of, the Bible is the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like,
Well,
God was just actually a genocide lover in like, the Old Testament.
I say,
Well, there's a lot of
there's a classic thing of look at how many people God kills in the Bible versus the amount of things that versus the amount of people that the devil kills in the Bible.
Oh no, the devil is just actually a nicer person, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he's responsible for what, 13 deaths or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, God in the Bible is responsible
Literally
for
countless.
several thousand at least. Well, no, because there's that case of he gets a bit fed up because people weren't completely adhering to him, so he floods the entire world and kills everyone.
everyone but one person, I think.
Everyone, but
Well, it's like 7 people. It was like Noah and his family.
yeah.
Oh, is that why we have all these medical problems?
Oh yeah, but it's not Adam and Eve.
It's not Adam and Eve, it's Adam and Steve. Get it right.
You realise
Adam and
asexual
Eve.
reproduction doesn't work unless it's like, fucking Eve and Eve, right? Theoretically, you could have
No,
asexual reproduction with 2
definitely.
women, like, just not humans.
Yeah, because you take the gene cells from one woman.
Yeah.
Well, you don't. You only need one person, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
It doesn't work very well.
if we could asexually reproduce, the entire species would be women. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Or technically women, man, but yeah, they'd have more similarities with woman than man.
I'm not fussed with that, to be honest.
What if? Okay, is Ben coming out as
No.
transgender? Is that what he's saying?
No, all I'm saying if it does end up being that in
Even
20
Eve.
years' time,
We are
Yeah.
so evolved.
And
We
this-
don't need to breed.
We don't need the male gender. Then oh well.
It's like super feminism.
Well, I'm not that feminist.
It's like I don't know. UKIP are gonna struggle in the next election if they're gonna keep going like this.
They're going to struggle.
And the worst part about it is, right, we still have, what, 2 years till the next general election. If this is how they're acting now, what are they going to be like later down the line?
I mean, they are going to die out as a party. Like,
UKIP are meant to be the party of the everyman. They're meant to be like New Labour.
the issue
By
is that
design.
UKIP has done its job as UKIP. You know, it's achieved its only political aim.
Yeah.
So it's already a dead party.
Yeah. They might rebrand
So really
themselves.
The last thing that UKIP really wanted
Oh
was,
yeah,
for
Brexit.
Britain to leave, because suddenly, you know,
Yeah, but technically their job isn't done properly because they're not left yet.
by saying, look at how we are torn down for being like the little guy. You should support us because we're the little guy.
Yeah, but they're not actually the little guy. They're quite a
Yeah,
big
I know.
party. It's like saying the grassroots party. No, the Tea Party in America is a little party.
Wait, what's that one where it's the random guy that's dressed up all weird?
What, the Monster Alien Looney Party? Or
No.
the
No,
Lord
we
Bucket?
should. Yeah, Monster Alien Lunar Party. We should have them as like the head party.
Yeah, but like we discussed like last week, they would probably do a decent job because they'd probably get their fingers out of their asses and realise, shit, we've got a country to run.
Have Lord Buckethead.
Yeah.
Yeah, Buckethead. He's great. We all love Buckethead.
He's just... The thing is, what I don't like about Lord Buckethead is people don't understand the satire. And it kind of upsets me. Lord Buckethead is genuinely an amazing, like, just a joke in itself, right? But people just go, oh, he's got a bucket on his head, that's funny.
Well, it's not just a bucket. Get it right, man.
Alright. Was it bucket fucking trench coat and whatnot? You know what I mean, though?
It's not a bucket. It's a fucking like battle helmet. Like it's a fucking like
Ryan.
helmet.
It's a bucket.
Oh,
Well, that's the
Is it
joke.
supposed to be one of
Yeah.
those bucket helmet things from like eons ago?
Yeah.
No, it's like it's basically a Darth Vader helmet.
Yeah.
So that's all
But like
part of
from
it.
what I remember, like the original satire was he's supposed to be no different from Theresa May, and that's the joke.
It's in the text board.
Yeah, and there we go. It's a bucket, Ryan. It's a bucket. He's just also Darth Vader. There we go. So there we go. He's just like, oh my god, he's doing the Tory power stance. This is just me. Theresa May just looks so uncomfortable there.
Well, I think you would be if there was some random guy with a really massive helmet right next to you.
I guess, but still.
I mean, I'd just be tempted to hug it, but
I don't think that's wise. I feel like, you know, he'd kill him.
No, because she's just concerned that she stood next to an actual, like, possibly legitimate politician.
This is what I love about the UK, though. This is what America's missing, joke candidates.
No, I mean, we do have some joke candidates.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
what's
they don't
his
have,
name?
like, pure satire through
No,
candidates.
no. What's What's the guy with the welly on his head called? Cannot for the life of me think what his name is. But there's that guy that wears.
But you
the
know what I mean?
welly
Like, they have no chance of ever getting into Parliament. Technically speaking, Lord Buckethead actually has a chance of becoming an MP.
that would be funny.
Yeah, I mean, does he?
Not in the current system of how, like, the electoral system works, but in a different system, he has a chance of becoming MP.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He actually gets a fair few votes.
Well, yeah, because if everyone that was like around our age below decided, fuck it, we're going to vote for Lord Buckethead,
He still probably wouldn't win.
Yeah, no, he still probably won't win, but he'll get a hell of a lot more votes than most of the
Yeah.
known parties. It'll be like, oh well, yeah, UKIP, you've been taken over by a guy with a bucket head.
Yeah. But it's like, would you not just love to see Lord Buckethead?
Yeah.
Sit in the House of Commons. And just be like, and Theresa May like, right, so you're telling me I'm the leader of the Conservatives? Yeah. But I don't have a seat in Parliament? Yeah. How do I lead my kite? You don't. Bye. But no, earlier on this week there was like genuine concerns that Theresa May might not make it through the week, like politically, because of the backlash from the Chequers plan. So this week has just been like all out war, like on politics. It's been somewhat amazing. I don't know. What's your thoughts about this week, guys?
Sorry?
What's your thoughts about this week? Has anything interesting happened that you know of? Aside from Alex Jones and InfoWars having PayPal cut from them.
I don't know.
Which was like a news story a couple of hours ago, and I was like, lol. That's quite funny.
The other Brexit things and, Lib Dem conference being absolutely hilarious. But,
yeah, honestly, if you got time, go watch the Lib Dem conference. I'm sure it'll be recorded somewhere, surely. Some idiot's going to put it on the phone, if nothing else. Also, what the fuck is that sound?
Probably me moving.
Oh, I think it's someone boiling the kettle downstairs. Right, have you guys got anything else you want to talk about, or should we wrap this episode up for like a week? And resume next week with some actual topics, because there should be some by next week.
Apparently, Amazon's made an Alexa-powered microwave.
Yes, that's a thing that's happened, and apparently someone wanted it. Was that you?
No.
Someone said they wanted it. I was like, why?
No, because it will cost like 10 times as much as just a standard microwave.
It's $60. I think it's retailing at.
Oh, right, okay.
But anything else? Or was just like, kiss you two goodbye for a week. Because honestly, there's not actually been all that much that happened this week.
Apparently, Chinese Premier says Beijing will not actively weaken yuan to encourage exports despite looming trade war.
Yeah, but that's kind of a non-story.
I'm trying to find something.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But, yeah, should we say goodbye? Goodbye, YouTube. Until next time.
Goodbye until next week.
Bye.
Yes.
When we will actually have news stories.
Maybe.
What? Mate, what?
Might have news
Maybe.
stories.
Yeah, might have news stories. If not, we'll bullshit something out. We will actually survive till 11 episodes. Goodbye.